Driving in where the world collides. Culture's calling, it's a crazy ride. Music's pumping, food's on the plate. We're vibing here, let's celebrate. Echo and essence, we keep it real. Talking about the way we feel. Essence, essence. From the beats to the love we share. Everything in between we care. Essence, essence. Yeah. Uncle Freezy, vibing all night and all day. Coach Malpica, always something to say. Our main man in the cut, he is Soul Finger. DSJ always showing up as the soulful singer. Ron, Bully and Corey always being so thorough. Don't forget from that ain't rap, try borrow. It's not just water. Echo and essence, we keep it real. Talking about the way we feel. Essence, essence. From the beats to the love we share. Everything in between we care. Essence, essence. It's not just talk, it's how we groove. Life's a rhythm, we all move. Spin the wheel, what's next to see? Culture flowing endlessly. Echo and essence, we keep it real. Talking about the way we feel. Essence, essence. From the beats to the love we share. Everything in between we care. Essence, essence.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one Chief Rocker. Uncle Freezy is in the building. About to talk about a topic that I love. I got my guy Triborough in the building. Really quick, I'm gonna do this first. Or you know what? Let me bring my guy up just real quick. Right? Let me bring my guy up real quick. Salute, bro.
Salute, salute.
Let me do. I'm gonna fix this right here. I want this to look a certain way. Right, so let me put this right here and this right here. I don't want to cover it up and see how that looks. All right, there we go. There we are. So I got a joint. Hey, DSJ, I see you. Give me 1 second, bro. I see you. I got you. I promise. For everybody in the wanting to know who that is and they can't go in the back, that's Casanova Fly, Grandmaster Kaz. All right, I got a thing I just want to read really quickly. So picture this. The Bronx, New York is the early 1970s. The city is struggling, buildings were burning, poverty was real, and young people, Black and Latino kids, were growing up in an environment where opportunities were slim. But out of that struggle, out of that pain came creativity. Because when the system didn't give these kids an outlet, we built our own. It started at block parties, at community centers, in the park. You'd have these big sound system plugged in the street lights, and the DJ, not a club DJ, but kind of like a low budget guy, selector trying to learn how to spin records, would keep the crowd moving. One name you always got to start with is DJ Kool Herc. Back in 1973, your man was like a toddler. You know what I'm saying? A party at Sedgwick Ave. Herc did something different. He noticed that when the break in the record came, the part where just the drums and the rhythm, the crowd went crazy. So instead of playing the whole song, he took 2 copies of the same record and went back and forth between the breaks. These are the breaks. They kept the energy going, and that was the birth of breakbeat, the foundation of hip hop music, right? But it didn't stop there. right? So it didn't stop there. While the DJ was spinning, the MC, after a while, MCs came along and MCs were just hyping up the crowd. Throw your hands in the air, make some noise, throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got some loot in a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, and you know what I'm saying, go on from there. But soon cats start rhyming and rhythm. People start putting poetry over beats. That was the birth of rap music as we know it. At the same time, the culture grew in a lot of different directions. The DJ is one pillar, the MC is another, the breakdancers was another. Graffiti, dancing, fashion, along come entities like the Zulu Nation having impact, right? And so when people ask about where hip hop began, the answer is hip hop. The answer is simple. Hip hop started out in the park. We used to do it out in the dark, right? And so on that, it's been 50 years. I'm sorry if I stumbled through that a little bit. Man. I'm sorry. It should have been a little bit more poetic than that. But what I will say is my heart was in the right place with that. Triborough, what's good, bro?
Yeah. What up? What's good? DHA, what up?
I'm a human glass case of emotion.
Them. Yeah, man. So I'm trying to make this, trying to put this in a place where they can see us and the topics at the same time. So I'm sorry if things moving around and all that stuff. So yeah, man. Fellas, what's good, man?
I'm good, man. Chilling.
I'm at
How
work.
y'all like the breakdown of hip hop, man? How y'all like that?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, man.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, man. So I got a couple of topics, DS. I got a few topics, right? That I want to touch on with you guys. From the Bronx to the globe, basically from the neighborhood to universal. The generational divide in music, all types of music. Hip hop beyond the music, global impact, civic impact, and what's the future of the culture. So I kind of wanted to touch on those four, not all at one time, of course, one at a time, or whatever. But I want to introduce everybody first. So if this is your first time watching the channel, welcome. Welcome to Echo and Essence. I'm the #1 Chief Rocker, Uncle Freezy, and I didn't just give myself that name. I'm the appointed #1 Chief Rocker. I mean, I'm him, right? I got the Triborough Gigolo from what I say is the dopest live stream on YouTube. And I'm biased, right? But so what, right? From the dopest live stream on YouTube. Y'all got to check it out. I be telling y'all, if y'all be feeling mad, awkward at work, if you a square, if you out of step, if you out of fashion, if you not in the know, that's because you're not watching the Dead Ain't Rap podcast. That's your fault, man. Catch up. And then we got the R&B sensation, and trust me, I saw this dude live in front of a packed facility, right? It was so many people in there, you couldn't swipe a credit card between people, and this man was rocking the crowd. It's the original DSJ. Still, what's good, bro?
What's going on? I'm at the job, so I'm miserable. But because Echo and Essence is on, I had to show love, show my support, show thanks.
For sure. Oh, and salute to everybody that that's not here. Salute to Soul Finger #1. Salute to Boulevard 73. Salute to Coach Malpica. Salute to Corey Lee. Salute to somebody that I just met a few weeks ago, Rocka Bash. Salute to Ray and a whole bunch of others. Man, it's like 1,000 of us, y'all. It's like an army of us, right? We all can't fit on the same screen at the same time, or we'll be up here arguing, yelling, and screaming at each other. So we try to like break it down into like these little pieces so that we can, so we can present some information to y'all. Maybe you like the culture and you're not from the culture. Maybe you deep in the culture and just need a refresher, or maybe you just like hanging out with your brethren, or whatever it is. However it is, we glad you're here, and we're gonna chop it up. And so So I'm gonna ask these two because both of them are in hip hop in different sections. Like one is a national record, well, I guess international recording artist, and the other is a hip hop and culture historian. And so, who better to get the info from than the source, right? So, try when you think about before we talk about the legacy and history of hip hop. When you hear people talk about hip hop, like how does that make you feel? And what do you think? What comes to your mind when you think about the hip hop culture?
Oh man, when I think of hip hop, I think of the park jams and BX and the cookouts that we used to have when we playing our favorite tunes on vinyl, on cassette. And hip hop has come a long way. It's come a long way from the park jams in the Bronx and to where it's at now, $1 billion industry, and it's the biggest movement I always say on the planet. And I think it's on the right track. I feel like there's with the people that we call legends and them being at the forefront and them actually coming out with new music in this era and showing the young generation how it's done and letting them know like yo like this is who was here before your favorite rapper out now and teaching them how it's supposed to be done. And I think it's only going to get bigger and bigger. Whereas like it's already the biggest movement on the planet, but I feel like we can have our own hip hop figures in the political space. Like we have a few of them, but I think we can have like our first hip hop mayor at some point. And I love it. It's a culture that we breathe this culture, we eat, sleep, and die for this culture. Some of us, and it's like a way of life. And I love it. Every day I'm dedicated to the culture, and this is all I know.
For sure, for sure, for sure. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Bro, I'm moved just by hearing what you said, bro. DSA, how you feel about the culture, bro? What do you how do you feel when you hear hip hop? Being somebody that is in R&B, that's in music, that works with um, hip hop artists and such. How do you feel about the hip hop culture?
Well, before I start my answer, I just want to give a quick shout out to my brother's True Music, and a happy birthday shout out to Quick Tempered, who celebrated his birthday on September 11th. So much love to them. Um, when I think about hip hop, I think about house parties. I think about breakdancing in the Bronx. And I'm talking specifically about me and my cousins. So that's something that we actually
Right.
do. I think about Video Music Box. I think about my all time favorite rap song, which is The Message. The visual, the story of it, um, how much it resonated with just about every neighborhood, ghetto America. I think about um, just the opportunity to express ourselves in another another genre, another form, another fashion. How much of it has impacted our lives and to the point where it's become a conglomerate amongst itself. So those are the elements I think about when I think about hip hop.
Wow, that's dynamic, bro. You feel me? Yeah, that's dynamic, bro. I tell the story all the time And yo, y'all forgive me if y'all heard this story from me before, but to those that like hip hop and they like these stories, y'all love to hear the story again and again of how it all got started way back when, right? And for me, hip hop was an abstract art form, right? Like people was doing it so wrong and so exotic, but it was so fun that you couldn't help but be hip hop is the Picasso to the Basquiat to Leonardo da Vinci's perfectness, right? Like legit hip hop is so different and expressive, and there are a few rules to it, right? The rule to it is the only main rule to it is don't do it if you don't love it. If you don't love hip hop, don't do it because we'll boo you, we'll run you out of this space if you don't show love and appreciation for the uniqueness of it. When I first heard hip hop, it was Eddie Chiba and DJ Hollywood. I know I say that all the time. People are like, Eddie Chiba, who the hell is Eddie Chiba? Right. Those are names so far in the past, people don't know who these people are. These people are like 20, 30 years old, right? From the disco scene, rapping, just because rap was a term that we used in the street, how we talk to each other. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? I was just rapping to my man about how fine, you know what I'm saying? How fine it's such and such Gloria from down the street look. Like we just use rapping in the term of talking. And they used to get on the mic and it'd be like, yo, I'm at the Fever watching Ron Seaver and Miss Cleaver, ho, ho. And that was hip hop. That was rap back then. It was whack, right? But the music was dope. And then over the years, people came along and they would say stuff like, I'm a poet like Langston Hughes and can't lose when I cruise out on the expressway when leaving the bodega. I say suave. Premier got more beats than rhymes got hay. Could insert into my gun so I could take the money and never have to run. They say smooth stuff like that over like these disco beats, and all of a sudden it goes from being a disco novelty to an inner city staple. And I remember sitting on my stoop on 94 Van Nostrand. I was about 11, 12, somewhere in there. And I heard a dude say, and what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat. And I was like, what? And it's the radio playing, like he talking to me directly. And so I'm looking around like, what is this? And he's like, I am Wonder Mike, and I'd like to say hello to something, 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 purple and yellow. But wait, you know, bang, bang, all this stuff he was saying. And I'm looking at the radio, like DSJ, if you can imagine this is the radio, I'm looking at the radio like, what the hell is going on? He said, I think it's the DJ in studio. It's not the DJ in the studio. It's the actual record.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal clear down your ear as I prepare to wear Ted smear and I'm out of here. It's a record. This dude said, so what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat. And when he said that, all the adolescent minds were blown. It was the beginning of what we have now, good, bad, and indifferent. It's the beginning of that was the beginning of a disco novelty becoming its own thing. It was the beginning. Hip hop, disco didn't know it, but when they did that, disco sealed its own fate. Right? Disco sealed its own fate. Right? Creating rap sealed its fate. because now you can. I bet you can't find a disco radio station anywhere, right? But I bet you can hear hip hop on accident during your day. You might just be watching TV and a lady might be doing her laundry to hypnotize.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So salute to QTD, True Music, Quick Tempered. Happy birthday to the fellas. And yeah, try, man. I'm passionate about this thing, bro.
So,
Yeah, yeah,
If the rule is if the only rule is be true to it, is this time to hold Triborough Gigolo accountable for not taking credit for his part in spitting these lyrics to echo and essence and vibes and stuff. See, at
it's
this point,
him. It's him.
I wish I could take the credit for it.
I think it's time to really just like put feet to the fire and we need answers, brother. Why you not taking the credit for your rhyme skills? Come on, man.
And I love the theme song. It's not me only, though.
No, it's not. It's not the Triborough Gigolo. It's
No.
the Fryborough Bigelow. On it.
Yeah.
like Shock G and Humpy Hump.
So,
Oh my goodness. Let me ask y'all this. I'm gonna ask DSJ first. DSJ, where's your entry point in hip hop? Like, where did you jump in at?
I want to say at the age of 5, as a kindergartner, I started breaking, and because me and my cousins, shout out to my cousins from the Bronx, um, but when I used to go and visit them, they had hip hop playing. They were practicing a lot of break dancing and stuff like that, and I was intrigued. I wanted to be a part of it. For one, because I love my cousins, and what I'm saying, wanted to always emulate anything that they were doing. It was just great to be around them. So any and every opportunity that we had, whatever they were into, I was into.
Right.
So when they got into breakdancing, um, and of course the first move I learned was the worm. So me and my cousin Mouse learned the routine to where we would end up worming um, in opposite directions, where we meet in the middle, stand up, and then do a breakdance move, and then do a b-boy pose. That's the entirety of our inclusion. But that's my introduction to the inclusion of hip hop.
When it happened, did you think it was something special or you just having fun?
Um, um, both parts, both parts. I knew that this was something magnetic. Again, the inclusion of being a part of, what I'm saying, the family dynamic and having the fun with the family was one part of it. But to see what it could do for so many people, especially when we actually took it to the cardboard box on the street corners,
Right.
and we were like, we would use this. This is our initial stage of hustling, using our talent as a hustle. So when you would see how many people from different walks of life and from different elements, and we're talking about like Asian Asian families would stop and stand alongside an Hispanic family that stood alongside a black family, and they would all like take part in the art form of breakdancing.
Right.
All the while, this hip hop beat, the breaks, scratches, the rhythm, the energy from this movie, where sometimes words wasn't even needed. the beat alone said everything you needed to say because it helped to give us the platform to showcase our abilities. And for that, like I'm always grateful for that, and um, I've always said that something there was something special about it.
Wow. Wow.
But let's not get it twisted. Brooklyn is still the greatest borough in the world. Just because I had family in the Bronx, just because I had family in the Bronx, don't mean that I don't claim Brooklyn. Brooklyn is still home. Brooklyn is still the best.
Brooklyn is a special place. The Bronx, though. So Tromper, what did you do? Hey, thank you for sharing, man. Because what DSJ just said, man, is basically a jump off point for a lot of us. Maybe in a
Right.
different way, but really similar. Tromper,
Right.
what was your indoctrination into the hip hop? When did you jump into hip hop and know that you were jumping into hip hop?
Uh, it was Blondie actually. Blondie when she came out with Rapture, and that was like the first song like that was considered to have a rap in it and mentioning Fab South Study. Like my mother has that album, and you
Yeah,
know when I heard Rappers Delight and Eighth Wonder, about City Hill Gang, my mother had those records. So I'm hearing these records, and then Houdini comes out with One Night, and I'm listening to that, and that was like the first piece of cassette that I ever bought. Going to the record store and buying that single, and then Run DMC comes out, and BTFO comes out, and so it was like a different genre. Hearing those records at that time, and everything else I was listening to was like soul music and R&B and reggae, pop music, and then this new genre comes out, and they call it hip hop. But I don't know what it is. It's just something that's different from everything else I listened to that time, and you know, seeing how much Run DMC made an impact when they came out with Walk This Way, and having a rock band that was on that record, and the radios playing it, the videos everywhere, and I'm like, well, I like this music that they call in hip hop. I don't know it, but it's something new and refreshing, and I wanted more of it. And you know, over the years, I didn't know it was gonna be big. I just felt like it was just a new genre, and it's gonna be, it's gonna be good. But you didn't know the impact it was gonna have 50 years later.
right.
And there was a time when it was becoming popular, and then you had like people who didn't want to have rap concerts at their venues because it brought like a certain element, a street element. Oh, that's music for hoodlums, that's music for thugs, and look the way they're wearing their shoelaces and with their sneakers, it's untied, and they got the fat laces and the Adidas's and the Pumas, and they're
Right.
breakdancing. What is this new dance that they're doing on a piece of cardboard and the concrete? And you know,
Right.
the graffiti element, I think, scared a lot of people away. And it was like our rebel music, our rebellious music that when you look at the white kids, they had punk rock. That was like their rebellious music, and hip hop was like always it had that street element.
Right.
So it's something I didn't really take it seriously until like maybe like the '90s, like when I started to see like MC Hammer go multi-platinum,
Mm.
and seeing Vanilla Ice, and how he went about his success, and you know that's when I really felt like it was gonna be like a serious thing. But in the '80s, I didn't really think it was gonna be as huge as it is now. It's come a long way, and I think it's fair to say I think especially with now like having these platforms, and letting the younger generation know who the legends are. I think this is how it was meant to be. It has to be this way so that we can get to another 50 years.
Another 50 years. Wow. Wow. Man, I'm not gonna. when I every time I ask like someone those questions, like what was your jumping off point into hip hop? Like where did it start? It always seems like everybody has a different jump in point, but it
Right.
always ends the same. Love. Like they like love it. It's like it becomes who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Like even though like one of the main things that I knew was one of the things I knew early on was that I was either gonna accept that I am hip hop or I was gonna get swept up by it.
Right.
Right? Because all the stuff that they were saying in these songs, it was my neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like I heard a rapper say one time, I was born son of Byford, brother of Al. D is my name and runs my pal. It's McDaniels, not McDonald's. These rhymes are ours and the burgers are Ronald's, right? Like, I'm like, yo, the I can do that. I can do that, right? Like, and it's not like, I'm not saying that the MC was not skilled. What I'm saying is, he talking about his family. He talking about his rhymes, and he talking about like the stuff in his neighborhood.
Right.
We all have this in common.
Right.
We all got family, we all got neighborhood, and we, you know what I'm saying? We all have these creative bones. And I'm salute Fritz Alcindor is in the building. Salute.
Mhm.
We all have these things in common, man, where you feel like you can do that, or it's socially acceptable for you to do this thing, because they're not talking about stuff in out of, they're not talking about Flash Gordon, right? They're talking about stuff in the neighborhood.
Right.
For a lot of us, you know, when one of the old school rappers said hip hop fit out in the park, we used to do it out in the dark. He talking about our neighborhood, bro.
Right.
Fritz Alcindor is in the building. Salute, Fritz.
Hey,
What's good, bro?
hey, what's up? What's going on?
Yeah.
Chilling, bro. Chilling, bro. How do you like this thing called hip hop, man? Where did it start for you?
Actually, for me, it started way different. Um, I lived in the suburbs. I went to a school where I was one of the few black people in the school. Like
Oh,
it wasn't, it wasn't around me. Like I think the only time, like I would, I would go to New York. I would, hear it in passing. My uncle, he would play it in the car, whatever, every once. So I didn't quite get it. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't get it. I think, like when I say Heavy D is like the first one, I felt it. like I
yeah.
like I felt it. Like I understood it. Like, oh, I like this.
Right.
I didn't get the cultural significance of it at first. Just the music part. Um, it was slow because like I didn't get the whole. I didn't get black culture like a lot of people did. It wasn't fed to me like how other people it was. Like, yeah, the culture I grew up, like when I'm saying like I'm talking like real young, like culture was bad, especially in in the suburbs. Like I kind of think back of some of the things that was like impressed on me. Like it was bad.
Right.
Like
Right.
um yeah, I remember teachers telling me like since I was one of the few black people that I was gonna grow up to be a criminal.
Oh
Like,
wow.
and I wasn't even a bad kid. They say just because you black.
Oh wow.
Just because and they was trying to encourage me. They'd be like, "Oh, you a good kid. Like, if you keep it up, you don't have to go to prison.
Wow.
Like, it's a different culture." So that pride, that kind of thing wasn't there. But I think hip hop opened a lot of conversations. Like, I remember I heard 911's a joke,
Right.
and in my mind, it's like, oh, that ain't true. And my mom's like, nah, that's true. My mom's from Brooklyn. She's like, nah, that's true. Like, we would have conversations about stuff that I hear in the music that I wouldn't have learned in real life. And
Right.
then, eventually I kind of got the cultural point of it. And then you could dive deeper and you understand the meaning of what some of these things mean. But it just wasn't around me to just pick up. People pick up organically, like, oh, it's just part of what I learned. Like, I literally had to like learn it. I literally had to learn the culture.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Try
But
you experience something similar?
See, the thing is growing up, I'm the only child. I never had any siblings. I grew up around like cousins and friends on the block, and coming from a single parent home, there was no father there. Like I had my grandparents, and they took care of me, and my mom went to work. So rap raised me. Like hearing songs like "Be a Father to Your Child" from Edo G and the Bulldogs.
Yeah, 91. Yep.
Right, like that. I have that album, like that record. He was speaking to all of the kids that didn't grow up with a dad, and speaking to the dad as well, like be a father to your kids. And hearing like Pip said, when I got Fears of Black Panther, and hearing that one was dope, and hearing what Flavor Flav was talking about the cops, and he's still experiencing that now when he's doing, crooked ass cops. You know what I'm saying? And it was like certain songs that you hear, like they taught me different things that the school system wasn't teaching me. You know what I'm saying? So I learned it through my favorite artists. And I feel like now in this era, that's I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing a lot of these new artists teaching these kids, life lessons and things that they need to know. It's the opposite. It's like the most ratchet as you could be. That's what the kids are learning. And then the
yeah,
parents are just as bad because the parents are listening to the same things their kids are listening to.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And back in the day, you didn't have that. My parents wasn't listening to, they knew who Public Enemy was, but my mom wasn't going to pick up a Public Enemy album to hear it, or Onyx or MOP.
It, if I may interject, I'm gonna make you laugh. Like
Oh,
my parents and them listen to Freddie Scott and them, and I know y'all know how much I tell you about the Freddie Scott story. Like
right.
my uncle would give me a quarter so I could put some nickels on a needle for Freddie Scott. Oh baby, you got what I need. You got everything. See, my uncle that's what they knew, right?
Right.
And so I asked my pops, I was like, hey pops, and this is real talk, true story. I was like, hey Jim, give me $10. And my pops was like, boy, when I told you about calling me by my first name, right? Right. He like, I don't and he would get so mad that he would shuffle his feet because he really wanted to knock this shit out, but he wouldn't, right? He really wanted to knock me into the middle of last week, but he just didn't. He wasn't that type of person, right? He was a drinker. He wasn't like a fighter, a switchblade guy. Nothing like that. He was like the party drunk. That was him. So I'll come to him like, hey Jim, give me $10. But out. He like Mr. Shuffler, he'd be so mad, like he wanted, and I'd be standing like, it's only $10. Like I'm thinking in my mind, it's only $10, man. He thinking like my son shouldn't be calling me by my, you know what I'm saying? So anyway,
Right.
he's like, what you gonna do with the $10? Like, man, I'm gonna buy that new Public Enemy. And Fritz, hand to the man, bro. I promise I will lay down on a stack of Bibles tall as a. I'll take them Harry Krishna Bibles and lay down on them, bro. Hand to the man. When I said, "Yo, I'm gonna go buy some Public Enemy," right? He's like, "Public Enema, Public Enema, Public Enema. What is a Public Enema? You know what an enema is? Public Enema, Public Enema. What is that?" And no, bro, I will lay down. Yo, I'll go to the airport right now and get me 1,000 of them Harry Krishna Bibles, bro, and lay down on them, bro. He's like, "Public Enema, bro." So, and the irony is, I was watching the movie House Party, and the dude did the same thing. I used to show my pops like, "This is what you look like," saying that, right? This is years later, right? Years later, right? And so, with them in their generation, they didn't know anything about aggressive rap names. Like, if y'all notice, I don't know if we talk about this or not, but in rap, you had to have an aggressive street name, like Kool Mo D. But they are used to names like the Platters, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we legit, like, as a teenager, a group called Niggas with Attitude came out, right?
Yeah.
They were used to names like the Temptations. You know what I'm saying?
The
And
Whispers.
So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I know it's like one of the things that we don't talk about. And I guess this is like transitioning into like the second topic, the generational divide in music. But like they legit, like, we grew up on the Juice Crew, Boogie Down Productions, and they grew up on the Shy-Lights, right? And so he was like my pops were like, "Why they named so crazy? Why you gotta listen to Ice Pick?" Like legit. I was dating a girl, Charlene, right? Charlene, come on home to me, Charlene. I wish somebody would make a song. Charlene, I be loving my music so much that I forget about my girl Charlene, right? So anyway, I'm dating Charlene. Charlene's father is outside. I'm walking up the street, and he's standing out there. He like, and Fritz, I don't know why dudes do that, but back then, here I am walking up the street. It's like 85, 86, 87, something. He see me coming up the street. He like, "Oh, here this mother come. God damn it. What he want? I'm dating your daughter, man. What's good?" So I'm proud. I'm walking up the street, my chest out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever saw Saturday Night Fever? How what's the name? Was walking down the street with the white suit on. You know what I'm saying?
Travolta.
Travolta.
Yeah.
I got the record in my hand, right? I'm walking, and so he like, "What you want?" Like, "Man, I want your daughter." "Boy, you better watch your mouth, boy. I'll burn you with this damn. I'm like, "Calm down, Pops. I just got that new Orange Juice Jones record." "Orange Juice Jones? Man, I ain't want that mess around my daughter." Like, he legit, because the name was, it wasn't like, it wasn't a name like Freddie Jackson, right? It wasn't a name like Donnie Hathaway or Roberta Flack or something like that. It was a street name for, a guy. So I'm like, "Yeah, I got the new Orange Juice Jones record, man. I'm gonna go in your house and play it for your daughter." He's like, "You gonna go in my house and play it for my?" So I like, "Pops, calm down, man. This is what you like right here. This smooth." He like, "Nah, man, you ain't playing that rap crap in my house." And I'm like, "It ain't rap." I'm like, "Is he?" So he asked, "Is he a singer?" He trying to explain. "You ain't, boy, don't you play that mess in my house. My house is saved. We go to church." And in my mind, I'm like, I know y'all be smoking joints around the corner. Like, I know you drink liquor. You, how you gonna throw church on me? Because he right, he go to church. He was like in the church deacon, whatever. But he Baptist, so I understand, the plank, whatever. But he like, boy, don't you play that rap mess in my house? And I'm like, why is it that rap had such bad connotations even back then? Like, I understand the generational divide because you got, you know, an artist. Say you got an artist named Marvin Gaye. You have a Marvin Gaye record in your house, or you have the Isley Brothers records in your house, right? And then somebody come to your house talking about, I got this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde tape I'm gonna play. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Who on that? Vincent Price? No, no, it ain't that kind of thing, man. It ain't like that. Like, they just smooth rappers. They just talk. They walking down the street, bopping their feet, doing something and moving it. That's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And so, Fritz, they legit for years, the generation before me, like they didn't like rap music, man. They didn't like it because, for one, it destroyed the old music, right? And then the dudes that was destroying the old music had these crazy names like LL Cool J. Look. His name, what is it? Look. No, man, you don't pronounce it. You just say it. It's LL Cool J. Look. He, you know what I'm saying? And the only rap music that they would tolerate was this group called the Fat Boys, because they was always looking like they was having fun. They looked like innocent little kids, and they probably were. Right? That's it. Anything outside of, they didn't want to hear Tila Rock. They didn't want to hear Run DMC. They didn't want to hear Joeski Love. They didn't want to hear Ice-T. They didn't want to hear PSK. They didn't want to hear Melly Mel. They didn't want to hear Grandmaster Flash. What, he in the Klan? I remember my pops in tribe. Is this dude in the Klan? He asked me if Grandmaster Flash was in the Klan.
Wow.
That's my experiences. What in y'all generational divide? What was y'all generational divide like? I'm very interested in hearing that.
I mean, my grandfather hated rap. Like, he had all the stereotypes that the older folks had about the music. Like, it was for thugs and hoodlums, and it brought a bad street element to it, and they were banning rap shows at certain venues back then. You know, um, just the thought of like playing it around him. He didn't. He used to ask me like, why do you like it? Like, what are they saying?
Yeah.
Why do but why do you gravitate to that music? I mean, because he's a Caribbean, old school, and he grew up on steel pan music and soca calypso music, and when he's hearing throw your guns in the air by Onyx, you know, he he had a problem with that. Like, what is this? What is this that you listening to? What is this crap? And I always used to tell him, I'm like, this is the hottest sound on the planet. Even
Yeah.
back then, I knew it was gonna. I'm like, it's been here for a decade already, and you know, I remember, they had like older uncles that used to be like, your mother let you buy that? With
Yeah.
the albums had like parental advisory stickers on that time, and
Yeah.
you know, I remember when NWA came out with their albums, you couldn't get it. You have to go at the register, because that's where they sold it at, in the register. You have
Yeah.
to go to the register, and you have to be of age to get
And you
an
have to show your
NWA album.
ID. Yep. Yep.
Right. Yeah, it was like going to the movie theater and you go see like an Eddie Murphy R-rated film. You have to go with a older, your parent or older adult, because you couldn't go by yourself. And you know, there was, for a long time, it came with, bad press, and I felt like just, people outside of the culture didn't understand it. They didn't understand the way that we dressed or the way that we talked, and the breakdancing and the graffiti. They used to look at graffiti on trains like it was garbage, like it
Yeah,
wasn't
like
art.
a scar on the city. Remember Ed Koch
Yeah,
said that?
right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
And but I mean, I've been to shows where, like, there was a show that they had in Harlem in '96 that I went to. It was a free concert. The mayor that we had, Rudy Giuliani, at that time, he announced it out of the blue, and it ended in a stampede, and a lot of kids and people got hurt because some guy from upstate New York comes decides to go to the show, and he brought a gun with him, and he shot the gun in the air at the end, and everybody started running, and people got trampled, and it was crazy. So I think, like, with when you see something like that happen, this is why, like, the outsiders will look at a show like that and see, like, see, you see the element it brings to the shows, and they shunned it for a long time, and I think now we've come a long way where the city can have, free rap shows, and everybody's going, and there's no bad blood. Everybody's having a peaceful time, and it wasn't like that in the '80s.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I think hip hop has come a long way, and I think it's only gonna get better, from here on in.
yeah. Fritz, I had a generational divide also.
Yeah. You know what? My parents, they still don't like it.
Hey, Fritz, it's
They
2025, dog. What's happening? I mean,
nah. I'm like still. Still. They don't want to understand it. Also, I think with my dad, it was kind of like, my dad was from the islands, and I think a big thing is being with the islands. It's being respected is a big thing for the islands. So, like, when like young people have this music and they have this music expression that isn't really respected and is kind of looked down upon by white people, it didn't go over, because being respected is a big thing, like
right.
talking proper, um so people respecting you, so
If
this
I may,
expression
respected meant accepted back then.
accepted. So, like, if on the news and you hear white people don't like this expression music, and they keep expressing how all the negative things about it, I don't think he was ever down with it. Like, nah, this don't make us look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Try, try. Do you think that's a concerted thing by the masses to attach anything that they don't like? You attach violence to it. Is that what it is?
I think it's just, people feel what they don't understand, and I think when it came to rap, and being that it was still in its infancy stages at that point, and it took a long time for, like, the outsiders and the powers that be to really look back and analyze it, like, oh, this is something that's not going to go away. It's not a passing fad. It's something that, the people in the urban neighborhoods take seriously, and we created it, and we take what we created very seriously, in the same way that they uphold rock and roll, and they uphold pop music. That's how we did with hip hop, and it can't. It had to come to this. It had to be bumps in the road to get to where we at now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think we've come a long way. Like, I remember seeing C. Dolores Tucker and Calvin Butts. They had a demonstration in Times Square, and they rolling over, the gangster rap CDs, and artists they felt like were,
Yep.
they had like a hardcore edge to them, like a Boss or a Onyx or Snoop and Dre. I remember seeing that on the news, and it was
Mhm.
a big thing. And it was like, when people do stuff like that, and it's our own people, that just showed me that they didn't understand the culture at all. It was frowned upon by many people. If you're in the church, or you know, if you wasn't from the neighborhoods, they couldn't relate. And it had to come. It had to come. We have to go through those type of pitfalls to get to where we at now. You know what I'm saying? And I think now, in this era that we living in, that people, they see like, oh well, the white kids all listening to hip hop too, so it's not just a black thing, it's not just a Latino thing. It's the white kids that's going to the stores and buying the albums and streaming the albums, and I think that's when the record labels looked at that like, yo, this is money. We gotta do something with this because this is not going away anytime soon. And I think dealing with that is once it's ours, but it's like once the white kids started to gravitate to it and they dressing like us and they speaking like us and they listening to the same music, I think that's when people started taking it seriously.
I'll say this to your point. Um, I think once License to Ill dropped, it changed rap forever. And for those that don't know, License to Ill was an album by the Beastie Boys, right? And just by hearing the name of the group, you knew they were crazy. Beastie, y'all
Hmm.
Beastie, yeah, you knew they were crazy,
Right.
right? But these kids, they wasn't just like culture vultures. These dudes was in the culture. Them and Rick Rubin,
Right.
right? Rick Rubin is one of the Beastie Boys. People don't know that. He that's them. Now, they pen game wasn't excellent, but the vibe that you got, right? Like they had another young rapper around their age or a little bit younger than them writing their lyrics for them, you know what I'm saying? But the way they perform, bro, like once kids start seeing the Beastie Boys was all over places like MTV and T. If you remember, anybody remember Roger Grimsby,
I remember
the
the
guy from
name.
ABC News, the ABC News at 6. Roger Grimsby, and I think he had another white guy with him, and then I think um, they used to battle the people on um, Channel 4's like Chuck Simmons and
Chuck Scarborough, Chuck Scarborough, and
yeah,
two out
Chuck
two
Scarborough and wasn't it Sue
Simmons.
Simmons?
Two Simmons, yeah, I remember
Yeah, yeah. And so I think um, every day at 6 they used to talk about this drug called crack and what happened in the city today because of crack, right? And then they'll be showing the most hip hop person you ever saw, like gold chains and all this stuff. I stinked them, and when they came through, I started bucking because and they should, and it's all the negative stereotypes you wanted to see for black people, right?
Hmm.
Headscarves, do rags, ski caps, gold teeth. How you got 10 fingers and you got 10 fingers and you got on 13 rings, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like all the stuff, and it directly tied with rap music. But then when they got to the Beastie Boys, they were like, see, even the college kids have their own rap music, right?
that.
How is it that the college kids have their own rap music and the Beastie Boys, right? But the Beastie Boys sound and what they're saying, all this stuff come from the same place that LL Cool J is coming from,
Right.
I,
right?
I
So
was I was never a fan. That's one group. Never a fan of the Beastie Boys.
you never like Brass Monkey. You never like Paul Revere.
I never liked the Beastie Boys. Like it's oh my goodness.
I would say they were the first group to ever have a album complete. I'm talking about back then, a
Right.
complete no skip album. The Beastie Boys,
Oh,
right?
can't
And
stand
am
them.
I a fan of them now? Nah, but
It
Really?
was just too. It was too simplistic to me, and
yeah.
it's like it was too simplistic. It was too monotone. Like it just kept going. Never liked the Beastie Boys.
Oh wow,
But
wow.
Never
see,
liked the
like
Beastie Boys.
when people like what Fritz just said, like people, I've heard people say they didn't like 80s rap because it was too simplistic. But that's how rap started. It started that way. Like it had to
Yeah,
evolve to where we get the Black Thoughts and the Rakims later on. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody at one point was spitting a certain way until
Yeah.
Rockin' came out and he changed that whole lineage of what lyricism is. And
Right.
then we had Cool G Rap and Kane and Rock Chain Champagne and everybody else. But when you hear early Beastie Boys, they were a punk rock band that went over to rap, and that's how they made it with rap. But when you hear like early Beastie Boys and early Houdini and Treacherous Street, that's how everybody was rapping.
Yep.
Yeah. There used to be like so many simple songs. I remember, I don't know who was it talking about peanut butter and jelly. I'm the I was just like,
It
oh,
might have been
milk and
Guru.
cereal, milk and cereal. What was milk and
If
cereal?
it
What
was
was
Rebel, it was probably Guru, somebody like that.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah.
DSJ was probably Guru, right?
Oh God, don't say that. Not that.
Oh my God. Oh, the love affair with Guru it's got to stop. It's got to stop.
Yeah, yeah, man.
I really like Guru. I really like his rhymes.
Yeah.
I like, yeah.
Yeah, and he
Now,
said
I won't lie.
lemonade was
I
Frank.
I was a fan of the Beastie Boys for the energy. Um,
Yeah, me too.
Again, the party scene aspect of it. They really embodies the cool rebels, the cool weirdos. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And that
And
element of hip
pranksters,
hop.
they spiking the punch in the video, all the 80s tropes about the, what I'm saying, the sneaky bad kids, the Beastie Boys, right?
Yeah, they were their own
Yeah,
vibe. Like it was a different, it was a whole vibe. But at the time, I didn't understand that whole sub. It was a whole section that was separate than the hip hop I know.
Right.
and of course, the fact that they're from Brooklyn is just like
Right.
another element
The
to
icing on the
why
cake.
I'm saying I was a fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it them? It wasn't them, but that was like when that whole crank calling vibe. No, was that the BC Boys?
Yeah. Yeah. You talking or breathing on the phone. You remember
No,
that?
no, but like
Yeah.
they used to have like crank calling albums
Yeah.
back in the
The
day.
Jerky Boys. That was the
Like
Jerky
the Jerky
Boys.
Boys
The
type of
Jerky
yeah.
Yeah.
Boys, yes.
Yeah.
Yo, New York was sick, bro. Like legit, people will call you. Yo, for people watching this all across the world, like people will call your house and just breathe on the phone. Yo,
Mm.
it was like, yo, it was the most disturbing thing ever. But it was like, now that you look back on it, you laugh. But people will call your house. You'd be like, hello, and they'd be like, what is this? And this is before caller ID, everybody. This is before you could see who it was calling you before you answer, right? New York was
But
New York was a weird place. At the even on yo, you would be on the subway, like you and your moms be on the subway, and you'll see a person with a trench coat walk on, and you're like, everybody be doing this on this, waiting for their next stop because they know they was gonna get flashed. So yeah, man. Yeah, man.
but isn't it crazy considering that even that level of entertainment, the prank calls, evolved into what it is as a segment on the radio right now, where it's like Nephew Tommy and Ricky Smiley, um, just that element of even just that bad boy element of hip hop and how we could just take that and run with it, and now it's become its own genre of comedy,
Right.
which I think is another element to where hip hop has manufactured so much to other cultures
Right.
because the fact that Def Comedy Jam exists
Right.
because of hip hop.
Right.
I
Bro, and
mean,
now
black comics existed way before that, but it's the like when we introduced the new era of black comedians, it's like, yeah, we really introduced them as almost like another part of the culture, where it used to be just like, what I'm saying, the four elements of hip hop was the art of rap, the graffiti, the dance, stuff like that. And I think comedy kind of segued into becoming like the fifth member.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and like
Um,
then and now, like it branches out. Like now you got these what's it? Rap rap leagues,
battle
you
rap.
know,
Yeah, yeah.
battle spoken words. Oh man, I love spoken word. I had a couple years where I was like into it, like really, really like experimenting.
Okay.
but
Okay.
like I still like that's my goal. Like when I have more time, like I'm really gonna take it more seriously.
You gonna be a
I could
battle
I could
spoken
imagine
word?
that though. I could imagine that as far as Fritz Alcindor stepping into his office or into any business and to say, "Hey yo," just like out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah. Just
No, I've done a couple like for mics. I've done a couple some that type of stuff, but yeah,
yeah,
takes a
man.
lot of confidence though.
Yeah, take a lot. It takes a lot of confidence. Let me ask y'all. Let me ask y'all this: when y'all think hip hop, do you only associate rap music with hip hop, or do you associate other forms of music with hip hop also?
I mean, it's trickled down to because was becoming so popular that there was other genres that started to latch on to it, like R&B, and especially when Teddy Riley was doing New Jack Swing, and we
Yeah,
saw a lot of hip hop soul artists in the '90s, use hip hop in their music. Mariah Carey, for instance, like her first three albums were strictly pop. When it comes to 1995, when she comes out with Daydream, and she did the Fantasy remix with ODB, that's when she went into hip hop.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And it worked for her for a time, and then I felt like she started going back to the well too often.
yeah,
Whitney Houston at one point, she did songs with Wyclef and with Q-Tip. She was very pop also, and then she went into hip hop later on, and so we've seen that even with like you know the new metal rock bands like Linkin Park and Korn, Limp Bizkit, they implemented hip hop in their music. You know, even with like pop artists, Michael Jackson, he had Biggie Smalls on the song with him on the History album, and it was becoming popular where when you start having like Michael and Prince and Madonna implement hip hop into their music, that's when
Jack, Mike, they used to Heavy D used to get
Heavy
grabbed
D,
a lot, bro. Heavy D had a lot of crossover verses, bro.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Heavy D like was that guy. He was like the lovable guy. He was the safe rapper
yeah,
because the thing is, Heavy D had a lot of stuff going for him that was kind of radio neutral.
mm,
Like he first gen, he light skinned, he smile, right?
mm,
He dance,
okay,
he don't curse often. Like he might have said hell or something like, but he never was a hardcore cursor, and so
right,
he was basically safe. Unlike, do you take a chance and put Easy E on his Janet Jackson remix?
right.
Nah, you ain't putting no.
You see
I,
him wearing an Easy E t-shirt.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I see that. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, man, that's
Yeah,
fire.
yep,
That's
yeah,
fire.
I think Heavy D was like my gateway because there was like no negative images in Heavy D, so it was very easy to accept in an environment where like everything black was seen as negative around me,
He
and
was
I was
the
like, no,
opposite of black too.
I can't, like, you can't fault this.
Yeah,
So it was very easy to accept, and then from that, like, oh, okay, I can like I can branch out but like that was a good like first safe artist to like really get into.
like
Oddly enough,
artists. No,
Heavy D was actually my mother's gateway to hip hop or to
Oh
rap.
wow,
same,
wow,
same.
wow.
Now, I mean, as far as like owning albums, owning records, like my father who was the bigger, music lover in the house and musician himself, um, he's the one that, as far as like the Fat Boys, the LL Cool J's, Run DMC, um, like he buys the records. He would buy it, and these are like, okay, well, when these kids come through and they have the party and all that stuff, they're not gonna want to listen to nothing but R&B and old school and stuff like that. They're gonna want something to dance to as well. And my father was cognizant of that.
Right.
And my mother, I guess, was tolerant of it to a degree, but when she heard Heavy D, that was her. Give me the tape. Give me my headphones. I'm gonna put these headphones on and I'm gonna press play and leave me alone. This is her individual artist that she could rock with. So it's funny that y'all bring up Heavy D, and as far as what Fritz said about that being his gateway, that was my mother's gateway into hip hop world.
Um, my parents are a little. Their gateway was a little bit different, right? Because I don't know if y'all remember this time or not, but there was a time where you could not keep Chic off New York radio, right? Chic in any form, whether it was their song or they produced a song for somebody, whether it was Sister Sledge, Pointer Sisters, Diana Ross,
Hmm.
whoever they produced, like you couldn't keep Chic off the radio, right? There was a song, Upside Down, right? Yeah, Diana Ross, Inside, you turn around. I mean,
Mhm.
and so it sounded hip hop ish, but it
Right.
wasn't. Like it
Yeah.
got out of disco and it kind of had that almost almost rap, but the rap never came. If you feel what I'm saying.
Right.
So a year or so later, there's word that this artist, this up and coming artist, Prince, did a song with Shaka Khan and Stevie Wonder. Right. And my pops is like, because my pops was like the first to get a record, right? He like, oh, the new Shaka Khan. Shit. They ain't gonna have it before me. Pops get off work, he walking up the street. He got the new Shaka Khan joint. And he's like, hey boy, go get me a Budweiser out the refrigerator and throw that record on. And so, like I normally do, I get his Budweiser, I shake them shits up in a can, and I take it to him. And like he normally do, he take this can and let it sit and light him a Winston because he know, bro, this had been going on for like 5 years. The first time I got a, all this, and then but this time, by this time he take the bed, he sit it, and I put the record on. No lie, this time Fritz, this time I'm innocent. This time I'm innocent, right? I take the record and I put it on and I go down and I sit by him because I want to hear it too. Father and son bonding over music. It's like a thing, right? The record comes, you hear it, and then it start. Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan. Let me rock it, Shaka Khan. Let me go all the way. My father, Joe, what the hell? He's like, boy, turn that record over. You put it on the wrong side. So I go in there, and I don't. And trust me, now I was kind of like a naughty kid, but a few things you ain't never messed with. Like my father's shoes. Like he's had like a whole. He was a shoe collector, right? Before sneakerheads, he had dress shoes, right? Don't mess with them shoes, or you gonna get a beating, right? That's just it. Don't mess with that man's shoes, and don't scratch up them old heads records. Because if you scratch up the record, not only will they get embarrassed in front of their friends when they trying to play it, but now they got to go buy a whole new record and they got to wait till the next payday to get the record, right? So I go in and I slow it down. I turn it all the way down, and then I flip it over, right? And I hit the button, and y'all know, remember how the record arm used to go out over the record and then
Yeah.
drop the
Mhm.
needle, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, Jim, I flipped it over. The record arm, you can hit, you did it drop down on the record, you can hear it. And then soon it busts out, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, let me rock you. He like, what the fuck? Jim cuts me out. Jim like this close to my face. What the fuck you did to my record? I'm a kid. like legit, I'm like 15. He cussing me out. I ain't did nothing to your record. Right? He go in there and look, and the speed playing it, and but then after the little rap, Stevie Wonder just busts in with the harmonica. You know what I'm saying? And he like, boy, you better not have her. And he like, what that mess doing on there with Shaka Khan? And then Shaka Khan coming, I feel for you. I think, and me and my little sister dancing. She like a couple of years younger than me. My little brother, we in there dancing. We're like, yo, put this thing, because it's Shaka Khan, it's Stevie Wonder, it's Prince, and it's rap at the same time.
Right.
So in my mind, you can't get no better. Like, we didn't look at Prince like that then. Like, it took like the following year before we got to This Is What It Sounds Like When this is like right before that, right? Right before that. This is Candy Girl era. You remember
Right.
Okay.
New Edition Candy Girl era? So this is Candy Girl era. Like, they were supposed to be our version of the Jacksons. New Edition was.
Right.
My pops, to the day he died, cussed me out. Like in front of his brothers, my uncles and them. Like, he did something that boy did something to that record. I'm telling you now. Like, how am I gonna do something to a record? It's vinyl.
Right.
He like, you got that mess on there with that girl. No, we love some Shaka Khan. And I'm like, I love Shaka Khan too, man, but I didn't put that on there. Fritz, if you had and this is his gateway song. Now remember, Shaka Khan was she was like the black darling at the time.
Mhm.
She was a little petite thing, and she used to be singing with Rufus, all them big. Yo, y'all remember how big them dudes was from Rufus? Well, it was like almost watching Full Force and Lisa almost, right? Like the dudes from Rufus, you know what I'm saying? Being what like do all the music from Shaka Khan and Rufus, right? And so my pops is like, yo, yeah, man. But that was his gateway. That was his introduction. He had to listen to that Melly Mel intro in order to listen to I Feel For You. So he kind of got used, he sat through it, he suffered through it in order to get to that. So that was my parents' introduction into rap.
And see, the thing is, like, my grandfather wasn't a fan of rap, but he loved New Edition because New Edition reminded him of the Temptations and the Four Tops. So he didn't mind hearing
And Frankie
when you hear
Lyman probably.
right, when you hear Candy Girl, that's a hip hop record. You know, when you hear Cool It Now, that's a hip hop record. But he loved him some New Edition.
Right.
But he didn't he wouldn't mind if they sang over a hip hop track, but he wasn't into rap as a whole.
Right.
I mean, but isn't like Walk This Way was like I think is like the one that kind of kicked it off. I think I'm not even sure what year that was.
Yeah.
What
That was like 80, 84, 85.
Yeah. 86.
Yeah. 86?
That was on the album with
Raising Hell.
Alice.
Yeah. And my Adidas and all that.
And It's Tricky and yeah. I'm gonna say something to y'all, and I know y'all gonna probably think I'm trolling y'all because y'all think I just say stuff just to put a rock in y'all shoe, right? But back then, I was not a fan of Run DMC, bro.
Me either.
Just wasn't, right?
Yeah.
I was a fan of Houdini. And the reason why I was a fan of Houdini and not I was a fan of the Fat Boys and Houdini. And the reason why is because the music that they rapped on was similar to the music that I was raised on, right? Except their music was original and Run DMC was bass heavy sample music, right? Which Larry Smith is the creator of both of those avenues. It's just when I listen to Houdini, like when you listen to One Love, you know what I'm saying? You like the L, the O, the B, all the stuff they doing in One Love, One Love. You listen to it, it's almost R&B ish, right? R&B Houdini is on both sides. Like they got the 808 bass heavy songs like Funky Beat and you know and some other joints, and then they got the other songs like, you know, they kind of like sound like hip hop. They kind of like was like loose ends in a way, right? Where if y'all remember the group D Train, D Train was like R&B, but it was like very close to hip hop. It was like almost hip hop without the rapping. Like how the instruments hit heavy, like the bass guitar, like hit like in your speakers or whatever, had your speakers rattling. So yeah, man. Yeah, man. Well, the one thing though, I did want to say though, I asked the question like when it comes to rap music and music that you associate with hip hop, I gotta give a special shout out to reggae. Like I legit think if it were not for reggae, rap music would have gotten very stale. And as a matter of fact, if it wasn't for artists like Supercat and Shabba Ranks and I'll say Maxi Priest, even though I know he's more calypso than reggae, but even artists like Maxi Priest, you know, coming through in a certain era like 90, 91, 92. If it wasn't for them, I think rap, and I'm not gonna say it would have ran its course, but I think you would have got a whole bunch of stale copycatters. And y'all already know when you bite, you biters ruin the art. Like when you get a bunch of copycatters, it ruined. It's like the 2000th copy of the original. Like by the time you get to the 2000 copy, it don't look nothing like the original no more, right? And so I want to give a special shout, especially to Supercat. Want to give a special shout out, man, to Shabba Ranks because Shabba Ranks was straight reggae, and every now and then he would do a song with a rap artist or R&B artist, like the song he did with KRS-One, the song he did with Johnny Gill, the song he did with Maxi Priest and Shabba. Anybody remember that? Maxi Priest and Shabba.
House call.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that, I think rap was headed to. We probably would have saw like 30 or 40 NWAs, right? And we saw 30 or 40 Big Daddy Kanes. And so if it wasn't for that diversity in that at that particular moment, we needed that. Because I know y'all remember this, but there was a time like from about 86 to about 90 where a group was two rappers, two dancers, and a DJ, right? And sometimes one of the dancers would rap, right? Or it was like
Salt and pepper.
Naughty by Nature, Super Lover C and Casanova Rudd, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, just Kid and Play. It was like this whole formula, like, yo, you got to get two dudes. They gotta look different, right? You got to have one light skinned one dark skinned one. One got to be playful. The other one got to be a gangster. It was like a formula. Like if you wasn't that, then you wouldn't even get. But it was so many of them. You like, it just wasn't fun no more for a minute.
I think rap, helped the reggae artists and especially like the dancehall genre and vice versa. Where if you wasn't familiar with the Shabba Ranks or Super Cat on Mad Lion,
Yeah.
putting an artist like Paris One on a record with Mad Lion or having him produce his whole album. Now
Right.
you have the BDP fans going to Mad Lion to see who he is.
Yeah.
Or when you look at Shabba Ranks and he does a song with Queen Latifah, what you're gonna do, and hear that song, and then her fans will go check out Shabba Ranks and see what he's about. So I feel like it was a hand in hand thing where
Yeah.
you have the dancehall reggae fans, helping out the hip hop fans, and then vice versa, the hip hop audience is going to the dancehall audience.
And also bringing to the forefront artists like Junior Reed, who
Yeah,
was older by the time rap came
Hmm.
along. Born Jamaicans, Shaka
yeah,
Demus Suppliers,
hmm,
and a bunch of rap adjacent artists, right?
yeah,
Like they weren't rap, but the reggae was so close because they was hip hop. They was just doing it in reggae. Like
yeah,
Shabba Ranks.
Hmm.
Shabba Ranks was hip hop. He was just doing it in reggae. Super Cat,
yeah,
for people that, man, Super Cat in my mind is a rapper, right? In
yeah,
my mind, even though we know Super Cat is reggae, he had been reggae since like
way back.
'85, maybe.
Yeah,
When's the first time you heard of? I know Super Cat go back to like '85, I think.
hmm,
Like Super Cat, Ika Mouse,
yeah,
um, um, Cuddy Ranks.
hmm,
Um, a lot of them go back to like the mid '80s, but we didn't know who they were because it
right,
was just straight reggae,
right,
right? But then when they got closer to like that hip hop feel, like when
hmm,
them dudes start wearing cross colors and
right,
hey, you know
Hmm.
what? It's hip
yeah,
hop. So they start dressing like, hey, bro, it's hip hop. So they start saying hip hop stuff like bedroom bully or see
hmm,
you in the street or they battling on stage.
right,
Like when Shabba Ranks dropped Ting-a-ling, you're like, hey, this dude put a battle rap on his reggae album.
right,
This dude got a diss track, Ting-a-ling-a-ling, school bell ring, knife and fork fight for dumpling. Right? Like you like, yeah, this right here is hip hop. For those that um I'll advise for those that hadn't heard that album with Bedroom Bully and Tingling on it. It's a
estimated.
classic, classic hip hop album, even though it's reggae.
Yeah, definitely. He had a lot of. I remember getting that album for Christmas in '92. Estimated. He
Right.
had a lot of big hits off it. Ting-a-ling and Slow and Sexy with Johnny Gill. What you gonna do with Queen Latifah?
Yeah,
Bedroom Bully, like you mentioned. A lot of great songs off of that album.
yeah. I'm gonna make you laugh, bro. You probably gonna think I'm lying. Fritz, you gonna think I'm lying, but I promise you I'm not. I
Hmm.
was in the military, right? I went into PX and I
Mm,
bought that album, Shabba Ranks, and this album by the Brand New Heavies. I just bought it again last week. I bought it in the same day,
mm,
right? Because at the time I was just tired of rap. Everybody coming out on the West Coast, 1,000 groups coming out trying to sound like NWA. And I'm not saying Compton's Most Wanted was one of them. I'm just saying it's like a lot of groups was coming out sounding like NWA or just Ice Cube, right? Um, on the East Coast, 1,000 groups coming out sounding like Jungle Brothers, right? And not just on the East Coast, the West Coast too. Like groups coming out, they like got the Jungle Brothers sensitivity to them. They like they from the street, but they not of the street. Like they lived
right,
on the block where the gangsters live, but they wasn't the gangsters, right?
right,
You know what I'm saying? They just to tell the stories about what they saw,
right.
and they're trying to survive. And so when you think back to like that era of, dang, even the West Coast dudes got dudes coming out sounding like the Jungle Brothers. You're like,
Yeah.
I need something original. East Coast, you got KMD, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, um, Black Sheep,
Mm-hmm.
um, just everybody, man. Artifacts, like a whole bunch of whole bunch of Jungle Brothers type groups, like coming out or whatever. Because the thing about it is the groups before them, like Boogie Down Productions, were straight up hardcore b-boy groups. Like these are the groups that just want to come in here. We're gonna do our music and we're gonna fight and take your women and drink all the liquor, and then we're gonna brag about it on our next record. That's BDP, right? And then you got groups that kind of, the Jungle Brothers was so young, they was hip hop adjacent to a superstar in the city. They ain't had to do that. They just talking about the plight of the black man in a city where everything's stacked against you, and you just trying to get you 4 chicken wings and rice, smoke your blunt when ain't nobody looking, find an old track to sample some jazz tracks so you can sample and vibe to. That was it. But if it wasn't for reggae and I'll say this, try, and I know I'm wrong, but I can't find no other way to express it. If it wasn't for this group called Intro that legit started singing over hip hop beats, I think hip hop might have fell in the tank again.
But it wasn't the first to do that though.
I couldn't remember the first one to do. That's why I mentioned
The New Edition, Force and D's, they did that way before Intro.
Yeah, I forgot about the Force and D's. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yep. Tender Love is when I'm.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah. Love is a house.
Love is a house. Give me girl.
Yeah.
Let me love you. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I always thought they were similar to Blue Magic from the early 50s. I always thought, every time I think about them, I don't think New Edition. I always think Blue Magic.
Right.
Carnival of Love, I think is the joint. But yeah, but if it wasn't for groups like that, I think hip hop probably would have went into the tank again.
No, I think 93 was a strong year for hip hop. Like we had Doggy Style that year. We had Guru Jasmine Time. You know, we had Heavy D. Well, that was like late 92, early 93 was Blue Funk. You know, one of his most underrated albums. You know, a lot of great albums came out in 93. And I feel like R&B albums for that time, you know, Tony Braxton first album and Jodeci Diary of Mad Band. A lot of great albums came out in both albums. Yeah, Tevin Campbell, right. I'm ready. Right.
Yeah. H-Town.
H-Town, yeah.
Silk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of groups, man. I think PM Dawn might have been 92?
Yeah.
They came out with their second album in 92, the Bliss album.
Yeah. That and to be honest, that album is a classic. The rock fusion album, it was more rock fusion rap. Oh, what am I saying? I said an R&B group that sung over hip hop beats.
Mm-hmm.
Belle Biv DeVoe, and they wrote it. And they wrote it on the cover of their album.
Right, before Intro.
Out on the R&B tip. Yeah, they wrote it on the
Yeah.
I keep forgetting about Belle Biv DeVoe. They the GOAT, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Belle Biv DeVoe is probably the greatest R&B band ever.
I would say the greatest side group ever. I mean, because they wasn't expected to even sell. Like they were like an afterthought after, Bobby and Ralph goes solo, and to get that idea from Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis that y'all should be a group, and then they go multi-platinum, and that's something that the group didn't even do at that time. So I felt like they were like they have an extra shelf life with that group because of DVD.
Bro, I listen to I'm a New Edition fan, even though they frustrate me with their inability to get over stupid stuff and put out music.
Yeah.
I listened to that Belle Biv DeVoe album, bro, and they got a song called "I Thought It Was Me" BBD or BBD. I Thought It Was Me.
Yeah.
And Yeah, when you hear stuff like backstage, underage, adolescent, how you
Yep.
doing? Fine. She replied. Like when you hear like the album, you like, yo, are they better than New Edition? And just a thought, just a thought. I'm not saying if they are or if they are not. It's up to you. You know, you have your own opinion. But yeah, Fritz, man, like if it wasn't for non-traditional rap artists, I think rap probably would have went in the tank. 'Cause,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, legit, there was a point where rap was so bad that rappers was just coming out and just saying on a record the whole time, and you like, oh my god, this is selling. Dun, 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 you like, bro,
That was a whole. You know
that
what?
went platinum, bro.
No, but I was in the South. Like, okay, like my uncles, like, they were in Brooklyn until they got to like high school age, and then my grandmother, she's like, yeah, we gotta move out of the city, so she moved back to Wilmington, North Carolina, and then they started listening to that type. Like, I was down south, they had a whole different vibe to them. They
Yeah,
had a whole different vibe, a whole different vibe.
yeah,
Like, we
man.
wasn't rocking to it, but the South was rocking to it.
But the South, down South radio, bro. Yeah, down
Chopped
South.
and Screwed. Like, the first time I had heard a Chopped and Screwed CD,
Yeah,
I'm like, what is this? Y'all
one of
listen to this?
one of the greatest, bro. One of the most underrated rappers. We never say his name was out during that era, like those years running up to the 2000s, early 2000s. Is a dude called Mike Jones. Mike
Mike
Jones.
Mike Jones.
Who?
Yeah.
Mike Jones.
That
That
was
was his,
one of the best marketing runs ever. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
marketing runs, like, people are like, seriously, like, that was genius. Like, that was like a genius marketing run.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cass is like, who? Mike Jones. You
Jones.
know?
Yep. I
Yeah,
used to
man.
call the hotline. They had a hotline. I would call the hotline. You know, it was crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So it's like when we talk about like beyond the music of hip hop, man, there are so many things associated with hip hop. And I would venture to say that if it wasn't for hip hop, certain industries would have went in the toilet.
Hmm.
I'll name one, it'll make y'all laugh. Timberland.
Hmm.
Where would Timberland be without hip hop?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Timberland, Mitchell Ness.
Yeah.
Mitchell Ness wouldn't be
They
here
were out
without.
for a long time before we were starting rocking them throwbacks, bro.
Right.
Hmm.
They were very niche. Like Trevor, like did you see anybody in the '80s wearing throwback basketball jerseys, throwback jerseys?
That's something I saw in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like when Fabulous was doing it and Jay Z and
Right.
like even like when you like Tommy Hilfiger. Tommy Hilfiger got popular because of Grand Puba mentioning it in a song. And then like looking, I remember like reading it in the Daily News at that time, and you know he got free gear from Tommy Hilfiger just for mentioning his clothing line on the song, and then that's what like really started the whole thing with giving props to Nautica and to Perry Ellis and Timberland, and at that point like Timberland didn't really recognize our people for
No, they
for
did
all the
not.
sales that
They
they
did
got.
not, bro.
So you know what I mean? And they started like a whole campaign to like boycott Timberland until they recognized black people's
Yeah.
contribution to their clothing line.
You know
All,
what
all
we? I'm sorry, go ahead, friends.
no, yeah. Like, I think also all the sailing brands. You got Nautica, Helly Hansen. Uh, man, those are like big brands, but they're so small. Like they're like elite brands, but they're so small, and they became like mainstream overnight.
Major brands, bro. Hey, and I'm to make y'all laugh. I remember the first time, a dude named his name Alfred Jenkins, right? His pops used to play tight end for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back when Tampa Bay was like, this is like the early, maybe late 70s, right? Like his pops, he like it'd be like bring your parent to school day or whatever, and his pops would never be there because his pops was a professional football player, right? And we laugh like, you ain't got no daddy, your daddy ain't real. This is just like how you know how you pick on kids, whatever, you know, how you bullying, whatever. And he tried, no lie, he walked into school with a pair of boots with a tree on the heel of them, right? And we picked on that motherfucker for like a month, bro. You got a tree on your shoe, Fritz. We picked on this dude for wearing Timberlands to school. That dude legit stopped wearing Timberlands. I mean, and his teacher wrote a note. Them boots cost $40, and them kids be picking on him and making him feel bad. This is back when boots used to be $19. Timberlands was like $45.
Right.
And he was like, and he was mad, like, and nobody even tried to steal them. Because how you know you was official is somebody even try to steal your stuff. Right? We'd be on the playground, he'll leave his boots over there unattended, bro. He come back, the boots was still there. Like, but you take your suede Pumas off and leave them over there. Yeah. You walk home barefoot, right? So we picked on that dude. And then like 20 years ago, we like on our Facebook group, you're like, yo, Freezy, y'all remember when y'all used to pick on me about them Timberlands, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't remember that shit. That shit ain't never happened. Even though I know it did happen, I just ain't want to give him the satisfaction, right? But we used to call them joints bro games. We used to call them construction boots. You wearing construction boots to school? Because back then the style was ski boots. Remember, you used to have a whole outfit like ski boots, a bomber jacket, like a ski hat. You might have put goggles on the top. You know what I'm saying? Your
starter jacket.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And this dude got on Timberlands. Like, he got on what the hell? You got a tree on your shoe? I mean, we clowned that dude, bro. We clowned him. Oh my God, bro. But Timberland is one that if it wasn't for hip hop, you know what else though kind of blew up if it wasn't for hip hop? Mouth jewelry.
Gold fronts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bro. Mouth jewelry, and to this day, bro, dudes getting diamonds in their teeth. Y'all see that? That's the new.
Yeah.
Grills, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, like so many styles is just like off the back of hip hop, man. Bro, rims.
Yeah.
I would even say SUVs. Y'all remember when MPVs was the style?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you didn't have an MPV, bro, you was a nobody.
Right.
Bro, it's crazy.
And it went to like Pathfinders and Land Cruisers and Range Rovers. Every rapper had a Range Rover in their video.
Yeah. Even Jeeps. Y'all remember the Jeeps?
Yeah.
The Lexus, the Beamers, and the Benz. Y'all remember Jeeps?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Bro, if it wasn't for hip hop, bro, I don't even know if Escalade would even be out.
Right.
No.
Right. I don't think so, because remember, people wasn't hauling 7 people in a thing. And if they was, we'd sit, everybody be in there like this.
Right.
Man, roll the window down, you know, whatever, like cramped up in the car, you know. Yeah, man.
Mercedes had they had their Maybach line, right? And I think they had discontinued it because of Rick Ross, because they felt like Rick Ross was giving them the like bad press.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy because
Yeah,
if it wasn't for Carl Maybach, there would be no Mercedes.
right.
The Swiss dude that came to Maybach to make him a car,
Mm.
like Maybach and Carl Benz, they named the car after his daughter,
Wow,
Mercedes.
that's crazy. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah. It's Maybach and Carl Benz. They one dude created the carriage, and then the other dude created the high performance engine for it. So I think
Yeah.
it's Maybach created the carriage, or Benz created the carriage, and Maybach might have created the high performance motor for it to turn it to take it from like just a little bouncy carriage to an actual
Mm.
performance sports car.
Right.
So yeah, yeah, man, it's got a lot of things, bro. Jewelry,
Mhm. Yeah. There would be no Jacob the Jeweler if it wasn't for hip hop.
I say,
Because he was the one that you go see that was giving all the jewelry to the famous rappers, Big Pun, Fat Joe, Puffy, everybody.
yep, yep.
Just
Doing
just
custom pieces.
just a lot of Julie in general. Like
Yeah.
we was the ones wearing the herringbones. we,
Okay.
Right.
we was the ones wearing the, what I mean, the links.
Yeah.
Like people don't be wearing stuff like that.
Yeah. Paris Smith said it best, or Eric Sermon said it best. Fat herringbone and no medallion, right?
Hmm.
Is how it was, because back in the day we used to wear turtlenecks with the herringbone on it,
Right.
right? And then dudes like Mr. T and Slick Rick is like Future, or who said that wearing what did Future said Rick James 33 chains, some in a whole other domain or something. The Future is not a rapper, but anyway, that's what he said.
Right.
And Drake said, wearing every single chain, even when I'm in the house, because I started from the bottom. Now we
Mm.
here, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing how I can just remember like this. To me, all these things is moments, bro.
Yeah.
Like all these things is moments. I remember when dudes used to wear jersey T-shirts to the club and dress pants. But as long as you was neat though, so as
Hmm.
long as you was neat, it was. As long as you threw on some British Walkers, some British Knights,
Oh man,
or some Playboys with it, you was
Yeah.
straight.
I had the group chat laughing the other day. Cause man, like they was talking about sneakers. I had some British Knights. I had some LA Gears. I had some regulators because I couldn't afford the pumps.
Right, right,
but but yeah, we brought a lot. We brought a lot to the table.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I remember, man, having Diodoras. I
Hmm.
remember watching the U.S. Open, and a dude had on a pair of Diodoras, and they was super white. It was like the whitest sneaker you ever saw in your life. Like you couldn't believe how white the sneaker was, right?
Right.
And it was like the dude that was playing in them. He was just a random sweaty ass tennis player, right? But the Diodoras on his feet was so fly. And I remember after seeing the U.S. Open, right, for Christmas downtown, well, on Journal Square. I don't think y'all know what Journal Square is, but Journal Square in Jersey City.
That's in Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jersey City. Yeah.
Yeah.
The store downtown. Um, um, they had the Diodora because they had the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson sneakers out, right? And then in an exclusive area, they had the Diodoras. You had to like turn a corner, and they had these spotlight beams on the Diodora, and then they had um, underneath them they had these shoes called Lottos. I don't know if y'all remember Lottos or not.
Mulatto. Yeah.
And then on another thing, they had these shoes called Felines. And see, we
Hmm.
never heard of these shoes before because all we knew was Puma and Adidas, bro. Back in them days, if you wore Nikes, you was a buster. Like, bro, your mama buying Nikes with food stamps, motherfucker. You got on these food stamp shoes.
Mm.
And I know people laugh. Nike, you crazy. Nikes was this. Bruh, before Air Jordan,
Hmm.
Nike was nothing. They had puff Nikes. I think what they call them now, they call them the
Cortez. They had the Cortez Nikes.
Nike Cortez. Yeah, the Nike
Yeah.
Cortez, right.
I
Them
had
was
those.
like them was like if you couldn't get the top 20 shoes you wanted, you'd be like, okay, just give me some Nike Cortez. Give me some navy blue ones and some white ones, because they'd be like $29.99. Your sneaker budget was $50. You're like, Mom, just go ahead and put the other money to it. I don't need lunch this week. Just get me 2 pair. Because you could had to rotate your shoe. If you bought a cheap shoe, you had to rotate them, because if they went bad, if you caught a flat tire on a cheap shoe, you wasn't getting no more sneakers until Christmas. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we used to have a toothbrush with us, like to clean off the shoes and the fat lace. You had to dress them things up, bro.
Yeah.
You had an 8-ball jacket?
Hell no. Prince, I'm from Jersey. Yo, hey man, Triborough from New York, right? So New Yorkers, they have a swag about them. Like the closer you get to Harlem, the more your swag is drippy, right? Like the closer you get to Harlem, we all know Harlem got like a swag. See, but we from Jersey City, we thinking like, how I'ma beat somebody up and I got an 8-ball jacket on.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm ripping my sleeve trying to put, you know what I'm saying? Or how I'm gonna sneak down somebody's street with this loud ass coat on, right? like I'm just trying to cut through the path and hope these dudes don't see me and try to jump me, but my jacket looked like a street sign. Like no.
But see, like back then, like those are high theft items. So if you had like an 8-ball jacket, you remember Triple Fat Goose? If you had a Triple Fat Goose or a Sherlin coat, they were robbing you for that.
Yeah.
So we knew like all the coats, like the ones that if we get this, is we're gonna be taking a risk with our life on wearing it.
Right. Yep. You remember the starter jackets?
Yep, I had those too.
Yep. Starter the ones that was like the rare ones that you couldn't get. Like everybody had a Knicks starter jacket on my block.
Next one,
Yeah,
I wanted that. I wanted the Knicks one, but it was sold out. So I had to get like the Orlando Magic one.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. And like legit, if you got like a Portland Trailblazers starter jacket, the black one with the logo like right here on it, they was gonna use risking, bro. Like the Sixers jacket, the Sixers jacket, like legit. A dude was sticking a dude up in Bayside Park for his Sixers jacket. I'm sorry, not Sixers, Georgetown Hoyas. A dude who get stuck up for his Georgetown Hoyas jacket, he wouldn't give it up, bro. And legit, the whole Bayside Park went to the dude with the gun. He was like, "Yo, legit, if you shoot my man, we gonna beat you to death." And it was everybody, bro. It was like 90 people surround the dude with a gun, bro. Like you can't kill us all, bro. Like. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy, man. It was like legit. The dude wasn't giving up his Georgetown jacket, bro. He's like, I ain't giving no, what? And I'm like, and we like, and then it's like you know how you know someone, they not from your block, but they live on your street.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you know how long your street is, right? And then they might be 2 blocks down, but it's the same street.
Right.
So he lived between Ocean and Garfield. And we live between Ocean and Jackson. And we're like, man, see, he from Phaser D. Bro, if Phaser D find out, man, we let a dude from his street, man, get robbed, bro. He ain't gonna beat me up, but he gonna talk me to death. You know what I'm saying? Because I was younger than Phaser D. Like, he ain't gonna put them paws on me, but he gonna call me all kind of whatever for the rest of my life.
Right.
And so, we down at Bayside Park, man. All the adults is like, man, go ahead, man. Why you trying to take that man jacket, bro? It was like 90 people in him. And he was like, man, I'll shoot you. Like, man, you ain't gonna shoot everybody. And a lady ran and she went to like this thing and called the police. And we could hear the police like zooming by Bayside Park. Because the police was like, in Jersey City, they was like, they were scared of certain areas. Like they're not gonna drive down that little hill in Bayside Park and then can't back out, because you can't back out. You got to go in Bayside Park and turn around and then drive back up the hill. But it's a one way, right? Or it wasn't a one way. It's like so narrow that 2 cars can't pass each other, right? And so they zooming by up there on Garfield, and we down in the cut in Bayside Park. But one thing about those detectives in Jersey City, like they'll just beat you up for no reason, just dump you back. Back then, They'll be like on a lunch break. They'll just see some kids. They just got the car, throw the light on, and just beat people up, and then get back in the car and eat their sandwich or whatever it is they do. Now I know they ain't do that in New York because New York is
No.
Eric Adams got New York straight. Like New York always have a great mayor, and the crime will always be under control and all that stuff in New York, right? In Jersey
They
City,
didn't always have a great mayor though.
y'all remember the detectives from American Gangster?
Hmm.
That's Jersey City right there.
Right.
That's how it was. Like the normal beat cops, like the rookies, they not coming down in Bayside Park, bro. Because
Right.
it's 90 black people down there and it's a gun down there. You think they're gonna come down there? They ain't coming down there. But long story short, my guy, I forget his name, his pops just gave the dude some money. He was like, man, let that man live. Let that man have his jacket. Here, take this. And just go and get out of here, man. Don't hurt nobody. Just take this money. And they wound up giving him they wound up giving that man like $40, bro. They gave that man $40 not to take that man jacket, bro. That man jacket probably cost $60. That man
Yeah.
took that $40 and he dipped. We ain't never seen that dude no more again, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. It was crazy. Them starter jackets, bro. They was
Yeah.
It was a little different in my area because they make the starter jackets like back then like 10 minutes away from me.
oh okay.
So
Like-
a lot
like
of people,
basically.
yeah. So like 10 minutes away. So a lot of kids had starter jackets, but they were irregulars.
Oh, okay.
So like you got a lot of people with Giants jackets, one sleeve a little longer than the other.
Yeah.
Something's off with it.
Yeah.
Letters messed up. So there was a lot of starter jackets in the area, but if you had like a legit one from Modell's,
Mhm.
that was different.
Yo, y'all used to love some Models in New York, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't never went in, bro. Back in the day, I never went into an empty Models, bro.
Right.
Hands to the man. Two things I've never done. I've never gone into an empty Models, and I've never gone into an empty Dr. J's. Ever.
Right. They were always crowded.
Always, bro.
You know?
Always, bro.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, hip hop. So I guess our last topic is the future of the culture. Like, what's the future of hip hop in y'all opinion?
These kids gotta get it together. These kids gotta get it together. They gotta get off them drugs. Like that part of the culture needs to drop because they losing way too many people.
Yeah.
They losing way too many stars, and yeah, I think hip hop is getting a little too extreme. It's getting a little too extreme.
Yeah.
Like it's hip hop started as there's some things going on in my neighborhood. I'm not involved. To I may have done some things in the past. To I just got out. To like I'm currently doing it, and I'm going to continue doing it. I'm like, okay, y'all doing too much. Y'all
Yeah.
doing too much out here.
You're doing too much, bro. So what you think?
I
Charles,
think
about the future of the
I
culture?
think a couple things. There needs to be like after school programs with some of these artists involved so that after school they can talk to these kids and do like arts and crafts with them. Like actually be in the communities and show people that you care about the community that you came from. And you didn't just like get rich and famous and then leave the hood and then that was it. You forgot about your people. But actually, helping this generation get, like Fritz said, like get off the drugs and all the stupidness that they're doing in the streets. After school, there's so many times where I see a clip of kids leaving school and they running in hordes just to cause mayhem. Like that happened downtown Brooklyn last week. A bunch of a horde of kids that the cops couldn't stop. They just out in the streets and just causing ruckus for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like these kids need something to do. There's no like YMCA for them to go to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they need an outlet where they can take all of that aggression or whatever issues they got going on at home or whatever and put it into something positive. And I would like to see artists actually have a hand in that. I think hip hop needs a union. Like where for some of our older artists, if they're financially struggling, you have that union where they can help them out and give them a couple dollars every month or every 2 weeks or whatever. There's no union in hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of our legends that we look at that we love, it's like they might be struggling financially. You don't want to see Melly Mel homeless or Grandmaster Caz, and I feel like they need a union to look out for some of the older artists. There's gonna come a time when Nas is gonna, if God forbid he lived to see 80 years old, where is he gonna be financially? You know what I'm saying? And not everybody's gonna be a billionaire like Jay-Z. And I feel like they need to have like the form of union, for to support, the artists, that the ones that got jerked by their label back in the day and they don't have no money to show for, their success. I feel like we need to have like, shows, bring back the shows like Teen Summit, with that speak to the generation and they cover cultural, topics, not just the music, but you know, I think the stuff going on social media that the kids might be going through, but they have nobody to turn to. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I see that's where hip hop could go. Like it can get bigger than like every year. You know what I'm saying? Like you celebrating what, like 52, 53 years of hip hop now, and for it to go to 100 years, we gotta keep evolving and keep it within the community and keep teaching these kids their hip hop history because going to Yale, going to Harvard, they can have like all the hip hop some classes they want, but it's like people in the community that lived with it, that grew up with it, they the ones that need to be at those seminars, teaching the youth about their hip hop history.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I feel that I feel like there's gonna be I think there's gonna be a hip hop renaissance. I really think there's gonna be a renaissance for hip hop. For some reason, I don't know why people don't find mixtapes as collector's items because they absolutely are. Because those
Hmm.
songs aren't found on the radio. I think eventually those mixtapes are going to be worth like ridiculous amount of money because those songs can't be found anywhere but on
Yeah.
mixtapes.
Right.
And I think people are going to be interested in hearing songs that they've never technically heard before because they're not technically like registered songs. I think there's going to be I think that's going to be a big thing.
Right.
The remixes. I think the remixes are going to have a big comeback.
Hey, that's a smart thing. I never heard anybody say that, man. That's an excellent idea and thought, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shout out to Fritz for that. I've never heard anybody say anything that smart before about the business of hip hop. Right.
Like I,
And
I would love to hear these songs, like hearing a Bad Boy remix. Like I've referenced certain Bad Boy remixes and people don't know what I'm talking about.
the Jay-Z Michael Jackson remix, Rock My World,
Hmm.
Hmm.
yeah, is.
That was on the Clue mixtape. He had it. It was him first, and then everybody else.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if Michael ever put that remix on like the single for "You Rock My World." But if he didn't, then it's found on the Cool mixtape.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I think I guess finally, I guess before I have a thought of the future of the culture, and this is for the fourth generation. Like there is a generation before me that's probably maybe 10 years older than me that legit was going to the club during disco that could actually see hip hop in the club, rap in the club. I wasn't old enough for that. I was too young. I'm like the second gen hip hop, where I was the group that first discovered it on the radio. Like when it first hit radio, I was that in that group, right? And then there are other generations. What I'll say to everybody, whether it's um, those kids born in the 50s, like 58, 59, that was like 15, 16, 17 during disco and the beginning of rap. I'm gonna say to everybody, get y'all old asses out the way and let these young people take over hip hop. This is what hip hop is. Hip hop is a young man's game. If you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and you mad that hip hop don't sound like what you used to listen to, get your old ass out the way and let these young people express themselves. They now, of course, it don't sound like what you listen to because they are not you. Times have changed. We not driving leaded or unleaded gas no more, right? You don't go to the pump like, what you want, leaded or unleaded? Hey, let me get 60 cent leaded on pump 3. Nah, it ain't that way no more. For people my age, yo, nobody listens to air radio no more. We listen to satellite radio now. So of course, it's not gonna sound like, and for the people from that listen to hip hop from like 90 or like from 85 to current, move out the way, right? You not buying, these kids are not buying instruments from Radio Shack. It's not archaic no more. They don't need an MPC, right? They can use programs on their computer to make music. Of course, they don't have to go work all week using the MPC, see what's dope, get in front of a crowd, get booed, go back home and start all over. They don't have to do that. They get their judgment by views and likes. That's the world that they live in. Now, for your generation, what you should be doing is preserving your generation of hip hop. If you mad at these young guys, like the new guys, and I'm not even talking about Young Thug and NBA Youngboy. I'm not talking about these guys. They 30. I'm talking about for these dudes, the new dudes. These dudes like 17, 18, 19 years old. Let them express themselves. You expressed yourself and your previous generation didn't like it. And you know how that felt. And then you talk to them about expressing themselves and then judging them on how they express themselves. But yet when it was your turn, you got the same thing and you didn't like it. Let them curate the culture. And you, whatever hip hop generation you're in, you curate that generation of hip hop that you were in. Right? Now, if you like the new guys, you like them. If you don't like the new guys, you don't like them. But you don't got to constantly bash them at every turn because they tried something new and you didn't like it. Maybe you don't like these guys painting their nails. Maybe you don't like these boys wearing skirts. Maybe you don't like these dudes walking around with their toes out. Maybe you don't. But in your generation, niggas was wearing jerry curls and silk shirts. And we like, y'all, no, I would never dress like a girl. Motherfucker, yes, you did. I saw y'all with these silk shirts on and jerry curls and had patch of your hair dyed. I saw
Cameron
y'all.
had you wearing pink. Yeah.
let these young people express themselves, man. That's their generation. You had yours. Don't try to take theirs. That's all I got for that.
I agree up until a point. I feel like yes, they should be doing their own thing, but if you call yourself a hip hop artist or a hip hop head and you within this culture, they need to know the lineage, Unc. They don't know the lineage. It's like it's too easy for them to go on social media and debate with somebody that's our age from our generation about who's the best rapper out from 1990 when they wasn't even born. This is a disconnect between the older heads and the new generation. And at some point, it needs to come. Both parties need to come in the middle and agree that yo, like we gonna let y'all do your thing, but y'all got to know the history of this culture and you being a part of it.
Yeah, there was power in knowing more than the other guy. They're like that no longer is a thing.
But the thing, I understand where y'all coming from, because I debate hip hop for a living, right? Trust me. Hey, every now and then I get on the That Ain't Rap podcast, and y'all got to check that out on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. Make sure y'all do that. Don't be a square. Don't go to work and then don't know what's happening, right? What I'm saying is, I debate hip hop all the time, but I know the line. Like the thing is with me is listen. I'm gonna say my thing. A lot of people ain't gonna like it because I come from a different era. I'm coming out of the soul music funk era into disco, into R&B, and into rap. These people, these young people, hip hop was 30 years old when these people were born. They don't know no other source of music. This is indeed they were born indoctrinated. The first breath they took was hip hop. They didn't transition into this. This is all they know. We knew other stuff. They don't know. The young girl I met at the Waffle House that said she got a slow jam tape, and on her slow jam tape, it got that song, At Night I Think of You.
Mhm.
I want to be your lady, baby. That's a slow jam to her. You can't judge her on
Ah,
that.
boo.
Yeah, Ghost Town DJs. That's a
That's a
slow
that
jam.
is a that is a cop out. They have Google and Wikipedia where we didn't have that back in the 80s.
Yeah.
They have the tools. They have all the tools at their disposal, but instead they want to debate with the older folks about who's the best rapper, and they don't know who the best rapper is. They never heard of Rakim.
I
You know what I'm
understand.
saying? It's like if I was 14 years old in this era, and I'm picking up Thriller for the first time, and I'm hearing a guy called Michael Jackson, and I don't know his history before Thriller, I'm hearing about, oh, he did Rock and Robin and Heartbreak Hotel and ABC and all this. I'm going back to check out the stuff he did with his brothers.
And
That's what we had to do because
if I'm
that was my introduction. That was my introduction to Michael Jackson. Was Thriller.
if I'm 14, I'm not even listening to Michael Jackson. I'm like, what did Jacquees say? Because I'm 14, dog.
I
Because I'm
hear you.
14.
Yeah, but again, this is where the parents come in. What are their parents listening to?
Bro, were you saying that when you were experimenting?
Yes, but see, my mother was playing everything, so I knew who the Beatles was. I knew who D Train was, and Gladys Knight and the Pips. She played everything, so
Right,
I already knew at 4 or 5 years old who these people was. These kids don't know that.
right. But
Yeah.
but we can't make them be us.
It's not about making them be us. It's about them knowing the information that's at their disposal that they refuse to hear. They want to be a part of this culture, but they don't want to know the guidelines and the history behind the culture. That's
But
why they don't know about breakdancing. They don't know about graffiti. They don't
I
know about DJing.
I feel you. I feel you. I promise you, I feel you. And this is the same conversation my pops was telling me about BT Express and Slave and Tavares, groups that were new when I started taking control of my music. When I started taking control of my own music, what I wanted to hear, Slave was new, right?
Right.
LTD was new. He was like, hey, here goes some young folk right here, man. You can listen to. You can listen to the Daz band. You can listen to the SOS band. You know, you can listen to the Gap band. Like all New Edition. They do that hippity hot stuff that you like. Hey man, I feel you and I appreciate you, but I'm gonna listen to what I want to listen to the way I want to listen to it, right? And even if you make me abide by the rules, I'm gonna sneak and do it on my own anyway. And that's the thing with young people and experimentation. They gotta experiment it for themselves, and then on their own, at whatever pace it is, go back and appreciate the older stuff. But forcing them to start at this place because we want them to be there. right, takes out the fact that they enjoy discovering stuff on their own.
But they're misinformed. Like you see when Cardi B come out with Imaginary Players, they're gonna hear that record and think that was Cardi B's on. No, that was Jay-Z's back in 1997.
Right.
This is why they gotta do their homework and be like, yo, oh, so there was a guy from Brooklyn named Jay-Z from the Monster Projects that did this song way before Cardi B.
Or
You know
they
what I'm
could
saying?
be like,
Because if they're having their own conversations on their front stoop or at the water cooler or after school, they're gonna be listening to that Cardi B song record and say, oh, Cardi B got a hot new record out called Imaginary Players. Never heard it before, not knowing that Jay-Z was the one that did that.
right. A lot of us did the same thing about Juicy by Big. I mean, I heard Juicy Fruit.
But see, I already knew M2 made that record
Right.
when Biggie sampled it in '94.
Right. Right. I feel you, but it's the same thing about what I was saying about Juicy and Sugar. Like people like I'm sugar free and I, you know, it like legit people didn't know that until they went back and listened to it later. But people got to do it at their own pace, their own enjoyment level. Like legitimately, my kids, they'll do line dances, but they don't know nothing about the hustle. Like I legit, some song was playing, and I just did the hustle to it. And then people saw me doing the hustle, and that older crowd came out there. We doing the because the hustle came out in 1975. Of course, they wouldn't know, right? But they out there like, look at daddy. And then like my friends, and they coming out there, they know how to do the hustle,
Mm.
doing the hustle with me, right? Like, oh, look, you gotta, hey man, find it at your own pace. Let them. How about let them enjoy it instead of trying to make them enjoy it more, and then they be ruining it for them when they can just enjoy it and then learn at their own pace. Because they don't have to be gatekeepers because they new to the game. The older crowd, like myself, we the gatekeepers, bro. We the one that tell us keep the story straight. With them, we don't want them to go from breast milk to T-bone steak. You know what I'm saying? We let them do their thing on their own. Every generation did it.
There's something that Raekwon has said on Joe and Jada's show where he said everything now is not hip hop. And you know what I'm saying? Like because you have so many artists that's crossing over to other genres, everything can't be called hip hop. You can't associate Raekwon with a Young Thug or Migos with Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Raekwon full of shit, bro. I tell that man to his face, he a damn lie. Right? Because listen, when Wu-Tang came out, by the time they were doing records, by the time Raekwon stepped up to a microphone,
Mm.
he saw the transition of urban radio go from you listen to whatever the white people was playing on their station to New York City having two of the most powerful black stations in the world.
Mhm.
Right.
WBLS, Kiss FM, and I mean, I'm sorry, WBLS 98, 107.5 WBLS and 98.7 Kiss FM, two of the biggest black radio station or urban radio stations on the planet. WBLS is started by Roberta Flack because they wouldn't play black music on these white stations, right?
Right.
But then you start that in the 70s, start to grow to the point where you can't even imagine your childhood without it. Then comes other Hot 97, and so now there were so when Raekwon say that, bro, when Ray say that, bro, Ray grew up in the era that I grew up in, where you could listen to the radio all day and not hear five black songs in 24 hours. To now you got the choice of three dominant radio stations.
Yeah.
Right. So
And I was run-
when you talk about exposure, bro, we talking about progress. Like when you I ain't gonna front, bro. When these rich ass, sucker ass, old ass, washed up ass rappers be talking about stuff from their point of view, bro, it
Mm.
gets my skin because you stood on a stage in front of thousands of people, impacting thousands of lives, right? and then you don't get it the way that you want it specifically, and you like, man, it ain't even rap no more, man. You know what I'm saying? Rap might be everywhere, man. Hip hop, you know what I mean? No, man. You legit stood your ass in front of thousands of people and held them captive with your voice. You sold millions of records. And now you out here complaining that it's not pure like it was in a time when you were the orchestrator of the change itself. You inspired other people to become rappers. And now you complaining about the thing that you did. Bro, these dudes, that's what I'm saying. These dudes, bro, they get this
But
bread.
how do we go from the message to mumble rap? That's what I'm saying. It's like I can understand his argument. Like is that really hip hop?
Yes,
Drill rap is hip hop to you?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, it absolutely is.
So an
I,
artist like him, what happens when they bunch him in the same category in the Grammys with a drill artist? It's not the same.
So he got to change with the times.
So you want him to do drill rap?
Huh?
You want Raekwon to do drill rap?
No, and you got to innovate, bro. You got to innovate. Rap has taken, man. When Busy B battled Kumo D, right? Remember, Busy B was winning all these battle. Hey, throw your hands. Kumo D stood in front of that dude and cussed him out like a slave dog, right? Kumo D innovated in that moment, right? And from that moment on, hip hop branched. Like the guy that legit was there was Busy B, Love Bug Starsky, DJ Hollywood, Eddie Chiba, um, Frankie Crocker, all these dudes, man, they would just get the microphone and just keep the party going. And then one day, a dude who couldn't find his way, he innovated and he created another lane. And that's what rap has been the whole time. Everybody creating lanes. Rap is a tree with deep roots and a lot of branches to it, right? The thing is, Bone Thugs and Harmony is NWA influenced. Do they sound like NWA? No, they created their own lane.
I
You know
get
what I'm
it.
saying? So when dudes create their own lane, I'm not mad because I wouldn't do it or I don't like it. I just respect it. Like they got their own lane way over. People don't like Too Short. They say he rap too slow. All he do is rap about the same thing, right? Too
Right.
Short got his own lane,
yeah.
right? People, the ghetto boys is overly violent. All they talk about is the ghetto. Well, they got their own lane. You don't have to listen to them. You can listen to Chubb Rock if you want to, right? And so that's what I'm saying. I understand where you're coming from. I'm saying, and maybe I'm overstating it, but I feel like ultimately we got to show people grace and let people live when it comes to this hip hop thing, man. You got to let them have because just because they went down that lane there, that don't mean they're gonna stay there. They might double back and be something else. But they won't know because they experimenting. They just trying. And Fritz, what's the harm in experiment and trying something new? You gonna go to prison? Nah. They just want to express themselves like every generation of hip hop artists want to do.
Do you honestly feel like with the artists that's out in this era that we'll make it to 100 years in hip hop?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like without the legends, without Rakim and Nas here, that tree might die.
Yeah.
I
I,
ain't
I
You know
seen
what I'm saying?
I ain't
it
seen
may come.
Rakim or nah. I ain't seen Rakim go platinum since '92.
Not
Mm,
platinum though, but just his presence still here. I think we need those legends here because without them, if they all had died off, and we had, I love Rock Marcy, but is Rock Marcy gonna carry that torch or Griselda?
No, because nobody carries the torch in hip hop, bro. People branch off. There is no power struggle for like when people was saying that when people was talking about who the king of New York. You know what the rest of the country was doing?
Mm,
Listening to Outkast and Eminem. yo, such and such. Nah, he the king of New York, man. Did you heard? Super ugly, man. Was Outcast was killing the award tour when they was talking about Super Ugly, bro.
Mhm.
Super Ugly ain't sold nothing. Like Super Ugly and Ether in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of things in hip hop, right? In the grand scheme of things in hip hop, right? Super Ugly and Ether is not even outselling Pitbull and Flow Rider.
But okay, but
Now,
also,
I'm a preserver of the culture. I know it's dope,
mhm.
right? But when you talk about the culture, the culture is a irrepressible thing that can't be suppressed, bro. Hip hop is us. It's our spirit, bro.
It could change though.
Huh?
It could change because you have reggaeton, and reggaeton is not considered hip hop,
Right.
and, and so you can have another culture take over our culture, and it
I
could
I,
become
I
something
get it.
else.
I get it,
It could become a culture that's not considered like black culture.
bro. That again, you can add all these. Yo, I remember when rappers started crossing over to R&B and just doing a little hook for R&B songs.
Mhm.
People were like, "Oh no, you can't do that." Yo, he up there doing a verse with Jody Watley. He done got soft and crossed over. Bro, come on, man. Really? We hit the panic button for everything, bro.
But
Like, nah, man.
the four elements have to be here still. That is what hip hop was based on. Without those, it's like it's gonna go into something else, and it's not gonna be us. It's not gonna be ours anymore.
Nah, trauma. That's what I think that's what a generation beyond me say. Like they think that hip hop is about graffiti, breakdancing, rap, and DJing. It's not. It's what we do, but it don't make us. Hip hop is our culture. The way we walk, the way we talk to each other, right? It's the way that we have swag. Like the reason why DJs are important because people want to dance, right? People don't want to DJ, people want to dance. And dancing has been out way before DJing. I'm sorry. And I know DJs think the world will revolve around them. If you know a DJ, that's what they think. Like, yo, I got this secret cut. I'm gonna throw on. I'm gonna keep them on the floor. Bro, dancing been out before DJing.
What
Microphones were created before rapping came out.
whatever every artist is not built for a dance. The Duck Down don't do dance records. So you're gonna try to convince someone from Western to do a dance record?
No, what I'm saying is, I know what hip hop is, right? But then I saw a skinny ass white girl get on TV and say, "Fab Five Freddy says everybody's fly." See the and people was like, they heard her rap, and you know what? Rap survived, bro. Rap survived the rapping Duke, bro. Da ha. Rap survived that, bro. Like rap legit survived Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney Dangerfield had a rap song, bro. It survived that. It survived Disco Duck rapping Rick Dees. It survived him, right? Rap survived Designer. Y'all remember Designer?
Unfortunately,
Rap survived Designer, bro. It's yo, rap hip hop is irrepressible, bro. You're not gonna be able to put the fire out, bro. Sometimes we just gotta think about sometimes a thing is created and it's so big that you can't live without it. It's like the internet. Like imagine if the internet disappeared today. What would life be like, bro? It'd be
it'll be back to normal.
crazy.
It'll be back to normal. Right? We will grew up without the internet.
I know. And it's a shame we did, bro. It's a shame we didn't have the internet sooner. Some things are just so far, some things are so irrepressible, right? That you can't even imagine what like cars. when cars came out, bro, people legit used to ride in these shits called wagons. Bro, to go from Brooklyn to Jersey City might have took you all day. Bro, it have took you 14 hours to go from Canarsie to Jersey City. It have took you 14 hours straight, back to back, no break. Something that's what I'm saying about hip hop, bro. Like the way they do it, I don't necessarily like all of it. I had my era of hip hop that I love and appreciate. They doing it their way. Let them have it. Can you imagine, Fritz? When the last time, Fritz, for the sake of this conversation, when's the last time you went back and listened to Grandmaster Caz, a Grandmaster Caz record?
Never. That's not my era.
But based on the point we making, we're like, if you don't appreciate Grandmaster Caz, look, try. When the last time you went back, went back and listened to Dougie Fresh?
A couple months ago, I have a couple of his albums.
Yeah,
but that's just me. I'm just saying, the internet is a good thing when it's used in the right way, right? But when it's used badly, they're changing the narrative of our culture. You know what I'm saying? And that should never ever happen where when the conversation comes up of, oh, well, who's the best female rapper all time? I think Ice Spice is over Queen Latifah or Roxanne Shante. This is why we have to have these discussions on platforms like that. No, you say that. I've never heard nobody say Gorilla was better than Guru.
But this is what make hip hop great, bro. Because they can tell me what is dope based on their opinion. And I can tell them what is dope based on my opinion. And there is no right or wrong answer because it's all about feeling and sensibility. The reason why we even having this conversation is because we fell in love with hip hop at a certain era. And we stayed in that thing and we watched it grow during our time. At some point, the hip hop got away from us and we stayed with the people that we were introduced to. We stayed in that Grandmaster Caz through Wu-Tang Clan, through Kendrick Lamar era. Right now, there are rappers on the other side of that we like. Yeah, I'm not listening to Young Dolph.
Dolph Gang.
You see, stop. You jugging me in the heart, bro. You gotta listen to Earth Gang, dog. You jugging
I
me
hear
in the
you,
heart, bro.
but they don't give me. I'm gonna check them out, but I'm like, I gotta, like, from a new artist, I gotta be able to like one or two songs. I haven't heard nothing that I like them in.
But
You don't like nothing they had?
I haven't heard of their stuff yet. So I gotta. He told me he suggested it. I'm gonna check them out.
I'm about to say that they had a hit a couple years ago with Cole.
Yeah,
they had a real good hit.
A joint with JID, bro. It's a classic.
Oh Lord,
bro.
That's another thing. That's another thing that's used too much. Classic. Because we wasn't saying that back in it, bro. When in the 80s and 90s, we was not saying that wasn't even in my vocabulary. Like, oh, this album is a classic. They say that too much now in this album.
That's one of the things we need to do a show on. Like what defines a classic? Like in my mind, if a song is not a top 200 song of all time, it's not a classic.
What?
And I don't care what genre. Like if we say hip hop, if a song is not a top 200 song, right, of all time,
right,
then it's not a classic. Because you got to have a cutoff point.
No,
because
but like
if
a classic something. A classic is something that just stands the test of time. It's something that can't be duplicated. Like it's like, okay, I put out an album, it's a classic. People are gonna try to imitate it.
Right.
Like it sets the tone.
Right.
And that's a classic album.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now in this era, when a new album drops on Friday at midnight, and people hear it once and then they already deem it a classic, I'm like, how?
It's
It
a
just came out.
classic Saturday
Yeah,
afternoon.
it just came out.
Saturday afternoon, it's a classic, bro.
But some albums you know right off the bat they're classic albums. Like you
I
hear
heard
it
Paid
How?
in
one
Full.
time.
When I heard Paid in Full, I knew it was like one of the best albums I had ever heard in my lifetime, and always would be. The only joint on Paid in Full I had a problem with is Chinese Arithmetic. That's it.
Oh man.
That's the only joint. And I didn't even say it wasn't dope. I just said I had a problem with it.
Yeah,
See,
there's some
but I mean,
albums I heard
hmm,
first time. I'm like, yo, this is like I never heard. When I heard Illmatic first time, Capital Punishment first time. Yeah, like you just knew, like, yo, this is. I'm gonna be hearing this. I'm gonna be hearing this album for like a long time.
Keeping it a stack. When I heard Das Effect's first album, the
hmm,
one with Mike Checker
yeah,
on it,
that's it.
I
Mhm.
was like, yo, this is a classic. I knew it was the best album. To me, it was the best album that Def Squad had put out up to that point,
Wow.
in my opinion. It
Right.
was. Because every song was its own, so it wasn't like a continuation of another song or whatever. It was like its own little, every song was its own little universe,
Yeah.
Right.
right? And they had it in an order where you can kind of understand it and respect each song. The
Yeah.
same thing when I heard Midnight Marauders, I was
Hmm.
like, that's a classic.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Oh, my boy, he made fun of me when I heard. Oh man, Drake's mixtape, and I said, oh, I told him like when I first heard it, I said he's gonna be an all-time great.
Oh, you talking about 2008, 2009?
Yeah, an
Well,
all-time great. I said
Yep,
he's gonna be an all-time great. And he's like, what? And
yep.
I'm like,
On the
yo,
spot.
all-time great. Like
On the spot.
seriously.
Yep. He a
No,
star.
because like there's kind of like some theories about music. I tell people and I'm like, yo, I think he gets it. I think he gets it. I
Yep.
think he gets the formula. And I was
Yep.
like, yo,
And
he ain't gonna be able to take him out.
and Chris, in my mind, I never said this publicly, but I say it privately all the time. Drake is the GOAT.
Mhm.
Period. Right? People are
Mhm.
gonna say, well, on this one song, on this one album, the rumor was somebody was in a room and maybe wrote this verse. Bro, when it comes to albums, bro, it don't matter. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Now, if you consider yourself a lyricist,
Yeah.
you gotta have all original work.
Yeah.
Right? Now, when we're talking about lyrically, who's the GOAT, right? There's no question that it's three people, right? It's Grandmaster Caz, it's Nas, and it's Jay-Z, right? Lyrically, it's hard to put other lyricists in there consistently. Like it's hard to put Big in there when Big says stuff like, I put 22s in my shoes. Holla if you hear me, love. I'm in the house, rolling straws, see what the party is about. You know what I'm saying? You like, I knew he was new, right? I don't like Biggie Smalls, right? I like the Notorious B.I.G., right? But when a dude say Biggie Smalls is the illest, your style is played out like Arnold. What the fuck you talking about, Willis? I'm like, okay. It's dope. The what is fire. The what is fire. But when you comparing lyrics like that to the greatest who have ever done it, like that line right there is 99.9% of all the rappers that have ever lived will not have a better verse than that. But then when we're talking about Grandmaster Caz, Eminem, Melly Mel, Jay-Z, Nas, Rakim, Kumo D, KRS-One, it's not really like that close
Yeah.
to me.
But Biggie has like raw talent. Just it's almost like you have to what could have been. Like you almost got to put it in that category because like and it was advanced. It was so advanced.
He
So
great, bro.
advanced. Huh?
He great. He's better than 99.9% of everybody who has ever uttered a rap. Period.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
just two
But he had
albums? Like he,
yeah, he just never got the maturity of it, the maturity with the talent. That's what we missed out on.
Right.
And that's the sad part. It's like, yo, if he ever like matured and then he got to like hone his talent, crazy.
If he ever got the opportunity to step away from Bad Boy, I think that's
but
where Big was headed. Like
I,
step
I
away
feel
from
like
Bad Boy.
that was gonna happen anyway. With Life After Death, he showed growth from Ready to Die. Ready to Die, he was like still like a teenager, that his voice was changing, right? But on Life After Death is like he was showing that maturity, and it's like with just two albums, he can wipe away a lot of other people's catalog right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think you absolutely correct on that. There's no dispute, right? When it comes to making music though, like because that's the thing that we get confused. Like, are we talking about making music, or are we talking about how great a lyricist is? Because and the reason why I knew that because I argued with a dude one time we was in the field. I was in the military. We was out in the field, right? We couldn't go nowhere. We was stuck. What happened? We was in these mechanized vehicles, right? That had tracks. You ever seen a vehicle that have the tracks that go around like this, whatever?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? To move or whatever. What happened is we got caught in a rainstorm and all our vehicles got stuck in mud up to about the headlights. So we couldn't move, right? The more you spin your tracks, the deeper you got, right? So we stuck, right? We argued about this MC called MC Rob Bass. Me and a dude named Giles, we argued about a dude named MC Rob Bass for I know 3 days straight, back to back, no breaks. We'll doze off, wake up. Nah, man, Rob Bass. And and I was telling him that Rob Bass was whack, right? He was like, "What?" I was like, "Nah, Rob Bass whack, right?" He's like, I was like, I like the Whopper at the Big Mac. If you got static, so let's go. He was like, bro, that is so genius. The beat was dope. He could
Mhm.
have whistled on it and it still would have been a mega smash, right? But instead of lyrically, technically pulling a cannabis on it and messing the song up, he just flowed with the beat. And the what you hear on that is a dude that is so smart. He know not to mess the beat up. He just put punchlines in there at the end of every line just to keep the song going. And then when we listen to their album, right? We listen to the album and you hear how skilled he was. You like after like 3 days, I'm like, you know what? That might be the smartest shit I ever heard, bro. Like a dude knows something is so dope. Like you ever seen a car that is so clean, right? A
Mhm.
car that is so nice. You're
Yeah,
like, nah, I ain't gonna put no rims on this. I'm gonna just keep it like it is.
yeah,
That's what it takes too is the song legit is so dope. If a lyricist would have got on there and tried to lyrically destroy
yeah,
the beat, it would have just messed the whole song up,
yeah.
right?
Right.
And truth be told, like when you hear Rob Bass, when you listen to the albums, the dude is probably up there with so Triangle say nothing crazy, right? But I will say,
What? You're not gonna say nothing crazy?
yeah, I will say Rob Bass is probably a top 150 rapper of all time,
Wow. Okay.
right? But you got to give credit to everybody in that 150. You got to give um, Slick Rick his credit.
Mm.
You got to give Kwame's his credit. You got to give
Dan
Raz.
Dane.
You got to give Jadakiss. You got to
Mm.
give um, Rick Ross. You got to give Immortal Technique. You got to give Eminem's. You got to give all these people their credit. You got to give your
Right.
Tupacs, your Jay Z's, your Nas, your Big. You got to give them
Mhm.
all they credit, right? All these people are probably better than MC Rob Bass, right? But when you hear that song and then you think that's all he know how to do, it's a travesty because he got a song called Crush on that same album that
Mhm.
I think is a top 100 slept on rap song of all time.
Mhm. I agree because like the way everybody's gonna remember the lyrics on that record, and if it was like somebody that was too complex and abstract with the lyrics, it wouldn't have been a big hit.
Yeah,
And that's why a lot of artists like Immortal Technique or Cannabis struggle to make hit records because they were too lyrical.
right. They forget what the whole point of making a record is.
Yeah,
The whole point of making a record is to make good music, right? And not just for not niche either.
right.
It's the reason why we put up with Wyclef and Prize, right? Their music was dope
Mm,
lyrically, like
they're not great,
they the Black Eyed Peas, bro.
right?
Like the Fugees is like the Black Eyed Peas, bro.
Yeah. Without Lauren, they don't sell.
Yeah, without Lauren, they don't sell. Yeah, yeah, and it's no disrespect to any of them. It's just one of the things where you like,
Mhm.
you know what? It's That's why I say Drake is the GOAT, because Drake knows how to put his foot in something, and then he knows how to back out and then do something different.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
should do an R&B album, like a straight R&B album instead of hip hop. I think he should do one. Break up the hip hop and then come
If,
back hip hop.
if Kendrick Lamar do one, then Drake will do one, bro. Because
Mm,
if we talking about attitude, Kendrick Lamar is probably got more attitude. When we talk about the pen, I don't think it's even close, bro.
but the question has always been: is it really Drake writing his rhymes? Though, if it's really him, then he's one of them. If it's not though, you can't put him with a Kendrick or Cole.
Mm. Cole, man, Cole. Like
You know what I mean?
I'll Cole, like Cole. Like you can listen to Cole, you know Cole wrote it. Like
Yes, that's the same thing with Drake. That's what I'm saying. Like early to mid to late Drake, that's all Drake. But
yeah,
then, like when he coming out with these albums and everything got 19 songs on it, you like, ain't no way like this one person wrote 3 verses for them. And there's no way a dude wrote 57 verses, bro, for an album. That's Fritz. Do we honestly believe this dude wrote 57 verses for an album, bro?
early, because like early, like you didn't doubt it because you would hear the processes because you would hear half a song. Like he would have these like half a song, you would hear it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he would use it. Sometimes he wouldn't use it. Nowadays, I think he kind of has a team. He kind of has like a team that does it.
I think he has a quality control team, is what I
Yeah.
think he got. Like no Drake, that's whack. Don't put that out.
Hmm.
Right. Nah, Drake, no, on this lemon pepper freestyle, don't try to destroy the beat. Just, like y'all heard the lemon pepper freestyle, right?
No. I mean,
I heard it, but it was forgettable. A lot of, lot of,
Woo!
a lot of his last stuff is forgettable because I don't
yeah.
think he's selling music anymore. I don't think he's selling music.
What is he selling now though?
He's
A vibe.
selling.
It's a vibe.
He
It's the
Okay.
is
beat goes, bro.
he. I think he just puts music out to keep like those streaming services. Just fills it up. I think he fills it up. He has current music, past music, and he's just cycling it through. Like I think he got an algorithm. I think he's just I think he's just messing with the algorithm right now,
He
and the
is.
money just keeps coming in.
Fritz is absolutely right, bro. He an algorithm rapper, and ain't no harm in that because there was a time where there was a such thing as radio rappers like Houdini. Ah man,
So,
them dudes ain't hard. They just radio rappers. There was a
so
time where
I
there
think
was
he's
ringtone rappers. Y'all remember ringtone rappers?
Yeah.
I think he's selling. I think he's selling his old music by just putting current things out there, just to keep these services to keep cycling through his music.
Yeah,
And you're gonna hit his song every 10th song,
yeah,
and it's just gonna keep on up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I think it is, bro. Like I think Drake is the GOAT because he knows how to do it. And I think eventually we're going to get to a point where Drake is going to be more impactful in music than Jay-Z, right? I think
don't
I
see.
think that I think that day I think that day is coming sooner than people think. Because Jay-Z was one who the streets said he had classics, but the masses didn't say he had classics, right? If you say who is a better song maker, Jay Z or 50 Cent, right? You'd be like, yeah, it's got to be Jay Z, right? Right? Like, who's a better song
I
maker?
mean, 50 had hit records. He knew how to make hit records, but not all of his stuff was great as far as albums.
No, all that stuff wasn't great.
You know,
I bought one of the one with Candy Shop on it.
that was the Massacre. You didn't like it, and I love that album. I thought he was in his prime back then.
I'm not a 50 Cent fan, bro.
Mm.
And it ain't him. It ain't him. It's just it's not a. I thought I always had a sense that the game was better. Is that crazy to
And
think?
he made better albums than 50. Yeah.
So that's not crazy to think, right?
No, no.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right, y'all, man. I gotta get out of here, man. YouTube, everybody, thank y'all for coming through and rocking with us, man. I'm gonna say peace to YouTube real quick.